And we're live. Welcome to the Conscious Cast, episode 10, featuring Brendan Evans.
That's pretty good.
Thank you.
Let's go.
So there's something that I need to get off my chest right now before we get into this. But this is all going to be about Brendan. Brendan mentioned the pod. This is exciting. I'm very pumped to have him on. I appreciate you being here.
Of course.
If you watched the episode 2 weeks ago, I mentioned that my hair was fake. It was a hair piece. I told Keaton his reaction was hilarious. And last week I didn't drop it, but I should have. But I did shave it. So there's nothing up here. And this is just, yeah, bro. Bold. But this is just for me to, it's out in the open. You can't say it wasn't. And if anybody ever asks, I can be like, just go to episode 10 with Brendan Evans. I dropped it. So it's out in the open. Can't say it's not. So I did it. Either way.
I've got to go back and watch the last 2 episodes now.
Dude,
I got to.
It's a lot of vulnerable moments. Like, we talked about our weaknesses on an episode, and then the week after that, I dropped my
Is that the one that just dropped on YouTube?
Yes.
The one that's about the weaknesses on YouTube?
No, that was the one before with Jaden. That was episode 7. But no, we dropped the episode. I was a little late on dropping it, but we dropped it last night, and it is the one where I talk about my hair. Keaton's reaction is to die for.
Wow.
His reaction's pretty hilarious. He like goes under his hood and like fucking like cowers like.
I was very shocked.
I mean, bro,
was
it's
not
like
prepared.
it catches people off guard, especially with like my age and shit. So it's understandable.
I just could not believe that the whole time I've known you, I thought it was real hair. I thought it was your actual hair.
Dude, I told my mom a week before you.
She didn't know either?
No.
She thought the whole time it was your hair.
It was just something she never really mentioned.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah.
That's crazy.
I would have never known either.
Yeah.
For what it's worth.
Right, but it's out in the open, so there's no more secrets. Everyone can see it now. So, anyways, let's get to why we're actually here today. Brendan Evans. I love having this man on. I want to talk. I think a good question for each of us is, how did we meet Brendan?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a good question. I met Brendan at Domino's about 3 years ago.
4
years ago? Was it 2020?
Yeah.
Did you really start around 2020?
I was in the middle of COVID.
Fair. Yeah, it was at the east side, right?
Yeah.
Fair. Would you be able to hold the mic a little bit closer?
Yeah, I got
Thank you. It was at the east side, and you were a driver. Candy loved you. Candy loved everything about you. I remember that.
Dude, she was always advocating for me.
Yes, I know. She is a huge fan of you. Seth, you met him at the same time.
Yeah. I met when he first started. We were. Hold on.
No way! Don't tell me he's messing up.
Of course.
Dude, I was talking so loudly, and then I just didn't get it.
Talking in it right now. I'm gonna go ahead and talk in it again.
It's not picking it up.
I'm trying to figure out which one's like picking up everybody else.
Better not be this one.
Maybe. How inconvenient. So we're good?
Yeah, it's gonna be about as good as it's gonna get.
How'd you meet Brendan?
Okay, so yeah, when Brendan first started, I had started pretty soon before that, probably a couple months, and so we were both like becoming managers kind of at the same time. Like he started as a driver, but then very quickly just shifted to managing, and we both were being trained under Andy. He was our manager at the time, and at the time, Ryan Hicks was the supervisor of East Side, West Side, and I'm pretty sure he oversaw as Newcastle was being like opened, right? So he was still the supervisor then, because that was before Austin Shank became the supervisor. But yeah, so I mean, we kind of were right at the same point of entering Domino's at the same time, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, it was pretty close together.
Yeah.
And then, I ended up quitting because I had the worst GM in the history of GMs.
I did mention his name just now.
No. I'm not talking about Andy.
Oh, okay. Oh, I know. I remember now. Because Andy moved to the west side.
Don't get me wrong. Andy's a great guy. He sucks to work with, though.
Yeah, fair.
And I worked with Trinity, and I was telling Trinity this. Like, he sucks to work with, but he's a really good guy.
Yeah, I mean,
outside of work.
It can be pretty tense at work whenever he's getting upset about something.
I worked a shift at Connorsville like 2 months ago
Oh, yeah.
with him, and it was awful. Like it was well ran, but like it was very tense.
Not fun. Not an enjoyable time.
You could say that.
So wait, who would you? Are you gonna drop the name of the manager that you think is the worst?
Oh yeah, Kelton.
Kelton.
Sounds like he sucks at whatever he does.
He quit like right after I left too, like a month or two or something like that.
He just quit. I know that.
Just recently.
Just recently.
Yeah, but he ended up being the GM of Connorsville for a short period of time, but then he got demoted, and he was just a tier 3 like floating manager, and he worked at the west side in Newcastle and stuff for probably a year, but he was still there when we quit. But yeah, I mean, it's funny like because you say he is the worst manager that you and I'm not even gonna disagree with you, but I was also his roommate for a while.
Oh!
We actually lived here at Townhouse together. I just dropped where we live. Come and get us.
Yeah, right.
Oops.
I have plenty of cabinet doors in here as long as
Yeah.
Do you have any glass bowls? Those are a necessity, bro.
Yeah, we do have one actually. It's hand
Nice.
painted.
One singular glass bowl.
That's all it takes.
That's all it takes. And a cabinet.
Yeah.
I have a really mad dog. But yeah, I don't know.
I want to hear Keaton. How you met?
I think I met you through a screen, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that was a fun
Through a what?
fucking time. That was a good time. Very good questions. It's very hard to
Through a screen.
mediate a couple of bunker
Oh.
dudes, especially. So that was like, I want to ask you this actually. I'm glad that we have this opportunity. So, in that interview, it was him most of the fucking time that was he annoying you, basically?
I don't think he was necessarily annoying me. I think it was difficult to get some questions across and stuff like that. Obviously, I personally like Levi. He's another Newcastle guy.
For sure.
So he's been around. So we've had quite a few conversations and stuff. But I don't think it was necessarily annoying me. But there were a couple times I just had to take myself off the screen because I'm just sitting here laughing about it. Like it was comical.
Okay.
It was comical.
Yeah, I didn't know why you were leaving, to be honest. Are you talking about like the one that was on Facebook?
Yeah, the live.
Yeah, I wasn't sure why you were
He
leaving.
was just
That's
sitting there
funny.
dying, bro.
Dude, I was laughing. I think I was texting Hannah a few times during it. Like these dudes are just like they're just wild. Like Levi was just going off, and you're just sitting there laughing at him, and he disappeared for the first like 10 minutes of it, and then came back in, and
immediately started like, "What are you talking about, boy?"
Bro, we cut you off, bro.
Levi's great though. I love Levi, but
He's like off the face of the planet now. No
Off the
Facebook, no.
grid, off the
He's
grid.
off the grid. That is so unfortunate, man. It's very unfortunate.
Dude, he can't handle the mad dog, bro.
Yeah.
Oh. All right, Noah. How did you meet Brendan?
I mean, I pretty much met him the same way that Seth did, because we were all working at the east side at the time, and then it was just like, I didn't expect to like associate. I guess it was like once you were gone, it was just like, oh, I guess that's a guy that I worked with, and then it was like our paths have crossed again in a more like passionate setting, I guess.
right.
And it's like, I don't know, I just appreciate you a lot more than like when I first met you, because you were just some guy to me.
I'm gonna be honest. I couldn't remember your actual name
Fair.
for like when I saw you at the May 18th show. We're not gonna give that show any credit, but when I saw you at that show, I couldn't even remember your name.
Fair.
And so when Trinity asked me the next day, because I worked at Domino's the next day, how the show was, I was like, it was kind of like throwback. Like
Yeah.
it was like Domino's East Side again. Like all of us were like ran
True.
together at the same time. Like it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
crazy to see how the timeline unfolds.
Right. It's like me and Seth were talking about the whole like putting down stepping stones in the future that you don't really see at the time.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, not that this was going to happen, but if we were like beefing before while
Right.
we worked at Domino's, I doubt that this would be as easily accessible to just be a thing. And it's like just the fact that we even got acquainted, and then you met these guys as well, and it's like now our paths are crossing in a different area, and it's just like easy to pick that right back up, I guess.
Now to kind of flip it on you guys, how did you guys get into any of this? Like, I'm not trying to diss you guys, but like, you guys were like the most uninvolved people in fights that I would have ever, like, I would never give guessed that you three especially would have been involved in fights. Like, me and him had an inside joke that involved wrestling for years.
Wait, really?
Yeah. And it was, other than that, I would have never expected you guys in combat sports, ever.
Fair.
I mean,
You
I
wanna
would
take that one.
Yeah, I would say it's like I've always appreciated fighting. Like I liked watching the UFC and stuff, but it was never something that I was like super invested in. And then obviously, like as I've been around Keaton more, it's like I want to just go support. And the more I go, the more involved I'm getting. And then it was just like he was asking me to walk him out. I was like, okay, so now I'm like really involved, and I'm getting to meet all the people that work at the place that I wouldn't really be talking to if it wasn't for that, because I got to talk to all the sound guys and you,
Right.
and then it's like now I know who Stewart is, and like I don't know. So yeah, it's Keaton really.
I can't speak for anybody else's show, but I know when it came to like Fierce, when I brought it up to Stuart, like it was just a thing. Like we just knew that you were walking Keaton out. Like we were kind of waiting for you guys to ask just to make sure like it was a thing. But like I just kind of
Dude, I love
always
that.
felt like it was a thing.
Dude,
So-
I fucking love that. That's the energy around
So,
that.
so when you
like-
guys came up to me in the middle of the show and like, hey, we're gonna need a microphone later, and I'm like, yeah, just come grab it. I figured you guys had already talked to the sound guys.
I had like, dude, I like talked to Noah, which was ironic, and then I was like,
Very good at what he does. By
yeah,
the way.
I was like, hey,
Noah and Carl are great at what they do.
I'm like, the guy that's walking Keaton out, and he was like, oh, you're the rapper guy, okay. He was like, I have your song, but like, I don't have any mics or anything, and I was like, oh, okay, well. What can I do about this? And he was like, just go find Brendan, because I didn't even know that Keaton was still fighting, and I was like, oh, okay. And then that's when I came and got you, and then we went over there.
That was a special set of circumstances.
Dude, that was very
Like-
wild.
So like Dorian's a really good friend, like one of my really good friends.
Yeah.
Cool,
I didn't
fucking
see
So-
the color.
Fair.
Sorry.
So to see both of you guys get back on the card after, you both had essentially no shows. I don't know exactly in the timeline when Levi reached out that he wasn't coming, or if he did, or Andrew Barnell, whether he was showing up for Dorian or not. So it was really cool to be able to get both of you guys back on the card, because a lot of the times fights fall off and there's just nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, I was very.
Like Skylar Reed. I worked
Yeah.
Myron's last fights. Skylar Reed's opponent left 2 or 3 fights before his.
So ridiculous.
And they came up to me while I was on commentary and was like, he ran. Like, they just scratched it off and walked away. Chris Klein just came up. He motioned that he ran away and then just walked off. Like, very little context.
I don't see how you could. It would take a lot of specific things to happen for me to not show up on a day where I've like signed to fight someone. Like, it would take a lot, and I'm glad that I even got an opportunity to get in there afterwards, because I was like, dude, I'm at least walking out. Like, I at least have to walk out, get into the cage, climb on the cage, and then leave. At least something. So when there was an opportunity of at least a grappling match happening, I was very, very pleased. Sucks that it couldn't be any kind of combat of kickboxing or MMA, but there was a very big size advantage. So
Kickboxing would have been cool, but at the same time, I think grappling did more for you guys than kickboxing would have.
yeah, if we're taking brain damage, we might as well do it in MMA.
That's fair. That's fair. But yeah, I was really glad to see both of you guys back on the show and whatnot. So
Yeah, and I will say, bro, I'm not even gonna lie, it's probably the best I've been announced ever.
I appreciate it.
Dude, yes.
Better than RIP, the original dude from Fierce Fight in my first 2 fights.
Like
better-
actually RIP?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
unfortunate.
That dude
Okay.
drank a lot of Mountain Dew.
Oh, is that what it was?
Joe York,
Joe
Oh,
York,
okay,
yo,
okay.
yo.
Dude, was that something recent then?
It was
July 22nd of last year was the
Yo.
first Fierce show without him.
Damn,
So he had a heart attack and passed.
that's unfortunate.
I think in June of
Fair.
last year, or
Was
something
he
like
older?
that. I can't remember his exact age.
Maybe
off the top of my
50s?
head.
Damn, bro, that's really sad.
maybe
that
50s,
sucks.
yeah.
So
Fair.
I've only been involved with fights since last April. So I was never around Fierce. I was never around Myron's show with Iron kickboxing and whatnot. So I was never around all that.
Did you
So
just
I've
train?
never- No,
Oh, you weren't even training then?
no.
Oh, what the fuck?
Yes.
I swear I've been seeing you around though. Maybe.
So I
maybe not.
I was with another team local to Richmond. We went up to Buffalo once. Went up to Mansfield, Ohio, which is right by Cleveland once with them. I managed that team, and then I went to Fierce.
Wow. Okay.
So Stuart had kind of recruited me to go up there and
Got you.
got a full-time gig out of it and whatnot. So
Fuck yeah.
Dude, that is sick.
That is fire as hell.
yeah, I got really lucky. I say it all the time. Like, I live the stupidest life.
What do you mean by that?
So like I get some stupid opportunities. Like I went to a wrestling show the other day, and I got a chance to talk to the promoter, and I get to I can't say too much about it, but he told me to get a hold of him, and this is a ex TNA world champion,
Wow.
and so it's really cool. Like, I've got a cell phone number in my phone, like, and we're supposed to be talking and collabing on something soon.
Yeah.
That's sick.
So, do you
That's-
still manage a team at all?
No, I'm kind of out of everything right now. Fierce has a team, but I left Fierce full time. I'm just there part time now with fight stuff and whatnot. So
Okay. So, what was managing a team like? What did you do while you were doing that?
it's kind of tough to say because it was a very interesting dynamic. I don't want to put too many of the guys down. I respect a couple of the guys that are over there still.
Fair.
But it was more like, having a Boy Scout troop that you got to kind of wrangle in every 2 hours or something like that.
That's
like,
what I was imagining.
like, there was a lot of people
was what I was
involved. I don't know if you guys know the team I'm talking about. I don't want to name drop them, but I'll tell you guys later.
Bet.
Fair.
But it was
Where
just
was
always
this
drama
located at?
here in Richmond.
I probably do know. I don't know. Oh, what? Oh, okay. That makes sense.
So, did
You see it now.
Yeah. I see that.
Did you? So,
For
were you
sure.
like responsible for like talking to promoters for them?
Yeah,
and,
so I helped match their fights.
okay.
I helped transport the fights. I was one of the few with a driver's license, and I didn't have an ankle monitor. So
Did you
I'm
ever-
not saying that to say.
I really wasn't even trying to laugh at that. Oh man,
Dude,
it makes sense. Yeah.
After I left the team, one of them fought in December with an ankle monitor on.
Oh my god.
So it was like, I'm not even saying
Yeah,
that.
I know exactly what you're
I didn't
talking
even
about.
know that was allowed. So like, shout out to him for actually being able to do that. But I didn't even know like the state of Indiana would allow that.
Right.
Like,
Yes, it's crazy.
Follow your dreams no matter what.
I mean, that's dedication. Andy
He probably
showed up
had to
today.
file paperwork to be able to go there. He probably had to like
Dude, I don't know.
have a police officer there or something. Like I don't know.
Was he at least just boxing, so he wasn't using his legs? Like,
It was kickboxing.
I see.
They
Kickboxing with
they
one and a
essentially,
half.
yeah, they
people.
essentially did boxing with no shoes, but
Interesting.
And that's just because the commission in Indiana, like you don't have to have a commission to do kickboxing fights, but you need a commission to do boxing and MMA. So it was.
it's sanctioned by
kickboxing.
the state.
Yup. So kickboxing, there's like a little loophole there.
So I was just gonna say real quick.
It's a lot cheaper too.
Facts.
I don't know if you have seen all of the thumbnails that we make and whatnot.
Oh yeah, true.
But
I can pull 'em up.
I just like to let everybody know ahead of time. Like, I look for faces and then we cut them out. So just be prepared to get your face on there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, just
Man, if I
throwing
can
that out there.
find it.
But
I'm not gonna lie. I was kind of waiting for one to market it so I could like share it and whatnot. Because I've seen one or two of them.
yeah, they come after the episode.
like these.
It's like when we.
Like it's literally
Gotcha.
we're gonna pick
Yeah,
it out
yeah.
of the
So we're
video.
gonna pick
Yeah.
a face that you make and then put it on the thumbnail.
Gotcha.
So
Fair enough.
just giving you a heads up. But that segues into one of the questions, which is like, what made you like want to get on the podcast?
Or
Like,
how did you hear about it?
Yeah.
So I just seen you post about it.
Oh, okay, cool. On Instagram,
Facebook.
Facebook.
I'm really not active on
Fair.
Instagram at all.
I plugged your account on there, but
I think I've had one post in the last 2 years.
damn, that's crazy.
Maybe
Why the
two of
IG
'em.
hate?
I just forget it's there. Like it.
Valid.
It doesn't catch his interest.
Yeah, fair
So
enough.
since I've had 3 posts since January of 2023.
Hell yeah.
Damn, fair enough. So you just seen it online?
Yeah.
So then what piqued your interest, I guess?
I'm just trying to do more stuff.
Fair.
just trying to get involved more.
Fair.
I like all of you guys. You guys are pretty stand-up guys, so it's pretty cool to get out there, do some more stuff. Ike Don wants me to get on his podcast soon, so pretty excited for that one.
Yes,
another announcer in the area, so that one's cool.
Dude, I think you're the perfect character to have behind a mic, in my opinion.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, I think you're really good at it. You have great mic control. You know exactly where and when to use your voice and how to do it.
Facts.
So I could see you being a radio host. Yeah.
So I'm still trying to figure it out too. So like, there's always growth and everything. So I still feel like I've got a long way to go. That's like me and Stuart were sitting down, like another announcer in the area. I won't drop his name either, but one of the things like we were talking about was, I'm not great at everything. There's still a lot of things I got to do better at, and I'm getting outperformed by some of these other guys. And one of the things was marketing. So I've had 3 posts since January of 23. So one of my goals for the rest of this year is to get more active on Instagram.
Fair.
Get a daily post out, something like that. Even if it's
literally
just
what we were just talking
something small or whatnot, like sharing a post. I'm bad about sharing posts too. So try to be more relatable on social media and stuff is one of the big things I'm trying to get. One of the big things I'm trying to get better at.
That's a good goal.
Okay, so I was thinking while you're on the oh, sorry.
No, I was just gonna empathize with the fact that social media sucks to like upkeep.
It's hard.
Yeah, it's very hard, but
We
it's like
were-
so necessary in today's world.
We had like a
It's-
whole conversation about it. Like
Yeah.
It's something you don't think about either.
Yeah.
Like you're on social media constantly, and you never think to like post a selfie real quick or
put
anything.
Right.
yourself on.
Like it's very tough.
Yeah. So you were saying he's like perfect to be behind her mic. So you have like a whole like I don't know, like a system, like you have like the script down for what you're saying when you get up on there.
Yeah.
So I almost brought one of the cards in with me. I've got them in the car, but all I have on there is the name. Sometimes where they're from, the team. Off to the side, I'll have the weight class. Half the time, I put the show name, because I can't tell you how many times I almost said Fierce Fight Series highlights at this last show. But so I'll put all 3 of those things, and then I'll put. So this time we started doing a sponsor for each bout.
Yeah, I noticed that.
So I also put that on the card, so I actually remember to say it and whatnot, because that was
Dude.
one thing I didn't do well at all, was plugging sponsors, and so that's one thing that we're doing to kind of start pushing sponsors more.
So speaking of the last show, you were saying something every time you'd come out of the ring, but dude, I never understood what you said one time. It
I was just
like
saying
really,
who the official was.
like while you're walking out.
Right. Referee for this bout is Rob Hines.
Okay.
Oh, okay,
yeah,
okay.
Or Skylar Slay.
I was imagining it's probably easier to hear what you're saying right there, like on the pay-per-view.
I don't know. So sometimes, I'm one of the few people that have announced as a ring announcer and commentated for ThinkBox. So I know I'm told when I'm a commentator that every line is muted except for the announcers. So my headsets are muted when I'm commentating, when the announcer's talking.
Okay.
But when I'm an announcer, I don't know when they're going to unmute that. So I don't know who's hearing that. I'm really just saying that to make the commission happy or the referee happy, to really kind of give them a plug.
Okay.
And, Ike Don did a lot for Tiger Banks
Okay.
at a show here previously. Sometimes I'll do, if it's the same referee for the whole show, back in November, Jason Roldan did every fight.
Oh,
So
okay.
instead of saying Jason Roldan for every single fight, 3 2-minute rounds, or 3 3-minute rounds for pros, whatever it may be, because that's the only thing that's going to change throughout the night.
Okay. So yeah, that's what we were wondering, is there was something you were saying,
And I appreciate you bringing that up to me, because I always like hearing feedback.
Yeah, it was just like you'd be really like loud and like
impressive.
yeah, it was like commanding with your voice, and then as you're walking out, you're like, and I'd be like,
That's because the ref. Come on.
yeah, I'm not taking away from that, but it's just like I was just wanting to know what you were saying.
I was I
Right.
was interested in. It seemed like there was something you were scripted to try to say right there.
Right. It's not something that's like super like. obviously the referee's an important job. They're probably the most important person in that arena, besides maybe the commissioner if it's for MMA, if Byron's there, the promoter, whatever. Mad
and
Dog,
if it's me.
right? But if it's I like to give those guys a shout out because especially if it's like Tiger Banks or Jason Roldan, Myron Gerber did it in Richmond. Van Tactic Vo, he's pretty good at it too. But these guys, a lot of the times, they ref every fight, the whole night.
Yeah.
So there's some times where Fierce has even had 20, 21 fights. So you got to think, you're looking at maximum about 30 to 35 minutes for a regular fight. These guys could be in the ring from, we start at 5:30, we got done at 10:30 for the MMA show. It went a little bit faster than normal.
Yeah, that was good.
But 5:30 to 11:30, that ref's in that cage, and they get 4 15-minute intermissions. So I like to give them a shout out because I mean I wouldn't want to do that all night.
Yeah, they're working hard.
Like if they screw up, somebody could die.
Yeah, they have to remain that like focus, like the focus you use when you drive and shit. They have to keep that focus every single fight. They have to. Yeah, it's a lot. Like,
Well, that's-
like you were saying about Myron. Like when I fought for my title the second time, I was the co-main or I think I was the co-main for that. And there was 23 fights. I think when the fuck did we get out of that place?
Bro, it was late.
It was at least 12:30.
I was at both of your fights for both title
I remember
fights.
dapping you up after them. Yeah.
And well, Kenny Stewart's got a black belt under Kenny.
Correct. Yep.
So so we were talking to Sakai, I think, before the second title fight. He was like, "Good luck tonight. By the way, we're kind of teammates with Keaton."
Yeah.
And there was more to that conversation, but I mean, if you think about it in a weird way, we're kind of teammates,
Absolutely.
which is pretty cool.
That is pretty full. Pretty full. It's pretty full, man.
Pretty full.
Pretty
Pretty
fucking
full.
But I mean, what I was going to say was look at Keenan King and Dylan Williams. If Skylar Slay did not hear Keenan King tap out because it was a verbal submission,
Fact.
he could be a lot worse than. Have you guys seen the pictures of his injuries?
Yes.
I have not seen any pictures.
Is it the dude that had the bandage on his head?
Yeah.
Yeah, that dude. I looked at his account. I don't know if they're on
Bro,
his account. Maybe
That Dylan
They're on-
dude
they-
is
he
a
posted them on
fucking
Facebook.
monster, bro.
Yeah,
That Dylan dude's a
please.
problem.
Dylan
He's
used
only-
Dylan's a problem.
Dude, he's only been training for like 6 months.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
no, so he used to train independently.
Okay.
So he used to
Okay.
just show up to fights with two of his buddies and call it a day.
He didn't fight himself. He would just.
No, he showed up, but his two corners were like his friends.
Yeah, he would fight.
Like he's
without
been
training.
okay.
he had been to like Fierce with me a couple times, but like nothing consistently. So
Fair.
I love that he's like finally finding something consistent. I'm trying to find these pictures.
Especially
real
Iron
quick.
Horse. That's a nice gym.
Dude, they're so good. Like Austin Tweedy, like one of the best pro fighters
I
on
can't
the
wait to
circuit
start
that are
talking
still
crap with
active
him.
pro fighters.
Yeah, bro. That facts. Very facts.
Like I respect that gym a lot. Like I know you're fighting Connor, and I cannot express how much I love Connor.
Yeah.
But like I always have a special place of a special bit of love for all of my fighters.
Yeah,
Fair enough.
So like
absolutely.
seeing you and Connor fight though, like
That's a good
that
fight.
it's gonna be a good fight,
Yeah.
but there's like emotional connection to it too. So
Facts,
I'm
bro.
excited to be there.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I did request the day off. Like
Let's go, bro.
I'm gonna do my best to be there.
Yeah, I can't wait to talk to Tweety.
So this is after.
Yeah, please. I would love to see them.
He's got like the Nike.
Dude, he's got the
He
swoosh.
is swooshed
Just
up,
do that
bro.
shit. He said, "I did just do
Dude,
it." It
you
didn't
know
work.
it's bad when Facebook is blocking the pictures.
Damn, bro.
Damn.
He got messed up.
That's crazy.
Dude,
bro.
how did it happen? Didn't he pick Devin
So-
up? And
No,
then he
Devin
s-
slammed him.
Yeah,
So
but
he
didn't
had-
pick him up first.
He head kicked him and
Oh,
then
okay,
took him
okay.
down. Landed a single.
Damn.
I think it was more of like a single, but I think he grabbed a double.
Watching that shit was crazy.
Dude, Keenan, if you're somehow watching this, bro, dude, you're a warrior, bro.
Dude, and I texted him the day after or 2 days after, something like that, and I was like, "How are you feeling?" He was like, "I can blink again." Like this dude's in great spirits. Like
He said, "I
Keenan-
can finally blink."
Keenan King is one of the coolest guys.
Dude, when he was coming out, dude, that fight was so interesting. The
I
energies
agree.
were just too different. Like, what's the other guy's name?
Devin?
Dylan
Or
Dylan Williams.
Dylan?
Okay.
Dude, that guy just looked like a fucking animal
Yeah.
in the
He was
cage.
amped, bro.
and-
He's jumping and shit.
And this guy's walking out so casually, bro.
He's taking his time.
Just calm.
Yeah,
like,
strolling.
Dude,
Well,
he
there's
just-
not too many people that get in the cage that already have a black belt
fair.
in martial arts on the local level, at least. You know, Keenan's one of them. Xavier Cardis just got his black belt not too long ago.
In what?
Shotokan karate. He's a pretty good kid. I say kid, but he's like 6 months younger than me, a year younger than me. But I saw him go from white to black belt, so watching that whole
Damn,
journey was
bro.
pretty cool.
That is cool.
But yeah, he's got a black belt. I'm not too sure who else would have a black belt right now that's competing actively. Off
What,
the top of my head,
I feel like
like a lot of guys train, but a lot of guys train to fight. They don't train traditionally.
Yeah, very fucking true. I'm definitely one of them. Dude, what the fuck is his name? Subdues coach?
Damian Sexton.
Damien. Yeah, what's he in jiu-jitsu?
I don't know if he's belted. I don't know if he has a belt.
He's
Now,
a
he
coach?
might. He might. I know he's done no-gi jiu-jitsu, and he's probably one of the best cats in Indiana. Like, I know he goes to tournaments. I know he's won a few tournaments. He won a jiu-jitsu tournament with a baseball bat choke.
What the fuck? Of course, bro.
Like, that's
I am
such a
that dude.
difficult choke
It's
to
so
land.
good, bro.
And then look at
shit.
what was it? I can't remember what choke he landed at the fights, but it was
Yeah,
ridiculous
that was
too.
no, it wasn't the ninja choke that he
It
had.
was a
'cause he
dense
got out
choke.
of that. Is that what that is?
Yeah,
That's dense.
dense something like that. I
I
can't
always
remember.
just called it a ninja
Dude,
choke.
Skylar Slade just told me what to say. I ain't gonna lie. I don't know.
Was that the last fight of the night?
Yeah. That was the main
Okay,
event.
yes.
Did he end up locking it up like that from that
Yeah.
front headlock position, and he had it like?
He
I didn't
locked
know
it
if he
in.
finished that or
He
not.
locked it in, put his hips to the ground, and just sat there until Cole
Yeah,
tapped.
bro. If you're in there, then you're in there. You
Well,
ain't getting out.
that's like both of those guys were pretty cool to see on the card because a couple years ago on Heavy Hitters, Damian main evented. I can't remember who he fought. I want to say it was like Matt Hartman or Brandon Arnett. I can't remember. I can't
Which
remember.
one was
right now.
heavy hitters?
Same team.
But and then Cole beat
Matt who?
Sal Williams. They are now.
Oh, okay. So they weren't at the time.
No.
Okay.
So Cole beat Sal Williams kickboxing on the same card.
Wow.
And
Okay.
that's a big accomplishment.
Damn, yeah. Bro, Sal's MMA debut, that shit went exactly how I thought it would have gone. But the fact that it was on 3 days' notice and he wasn't even training is fucking crazy.
I don't know if he wasn't training, because I know he was always on our list to possibly get matched up with somebody.
Okay.
We just could never find the right matchup.
Got you.
So when Brian's opponent dropped, so Brian Oakman is a teammate. He fights out of Fierce.
Yeah, correct.
So he had 2 or 3 different opponents.
Damn, bro.
And then,
Yeah.
and then Tanner Thompson was also supposed to be on the card to begin with too.
Yeah?
So those are 2 guys that we could possibly see fighting in November.
Brian or Sal and Tanner?
Brian.
Brian and Sal? Or
I
Brian
think it'd be a
and,
good fight.
Tanner would go crazy as fuck.
That's like Tanner. I don't know if you guys saw it, but he just got stripped of his 765 belt.
Really?
Yeah, they posted
That
it on
promotion
Facebook.
that you're DJing for?
Oh yeah.
He
Oh,
was
you're
the- he
DJing
was
for that?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
They're also gonna let us run the podcast and like
Dude.
commentate and then interview the winners after.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I was gonna
I'm pretty
ask if
hyped
we should
about
drop that on here or not. I didn't
Yeah,
know.
let's do
No.
it.
Yeah, now everybody
It's a
knows.
secret.
Yeah,
It's a secret.
Right, you guys can't find out. We'll let you
Yeah.
know next week what we're doing.
Just go in, edit it all out, bleep it all out.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. But I wanted to ask you, how did you get connected with Fierce Fight Series? How did that happen?
So, like I said, I was managing 765 Top Team. I know I said I wasn't going to drop the name, but screw it. So I was with them from like March until July.
Okay.
July into August, somewhere in that range. July 29th, I think it was. But we had Skylar, Rayon, and my brother Caleb was scheduled to fight out of 765 on the Fierce card, July 22nd. Last second, Xavier Cardis stepped in to fight Tanner Sizemore because his opponent no-showed or something. I don't know what it was exactly.
Fair.
I just know his opponent had pulled out or something went wrong. So we,
You'd imagine.
Yeah,
so
I know,
Xavier stepped in last minute against Tanner. But my brother was the one that opened the show that night. So after that, me and Stuart had kind of talked about it, and he had kind of offered me a position, wanted to talk about it more, but I initially had just offered help to do the cage, to tear it down at Fierce, load it, put it up, and then take it back. What I didn't know is the cage was almost probably 7,000 pounds.
Right. I bet that's a job.
I'm not going to lie. Putting the cage together kind of sucks.
I bet it does.
Like, it definitely kind of sucks. So for this last show, we only had day of set up. We typically do day before. So I was at the venue. I was up at 7 and up and moving at 7 a.m. And we were gone. What time did we finally get home?
That night?
Yeah. After the fights, 3.
So you were
Yeah.
almost up for 24 hours.
Yeah,
Doing
I think
all
it was.
that.
I think it was about 19 hours we clocked.
3:30 in the morning.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's
And then we were
That
up,
is dedication.
and then we were up and at church the next day at what time did we 10?
Oh my gosh, bro, that is
Yeah.
nuts.
It was rough.
So how did you go from setting up the cage and tearing it down to being behind the mic and being the one that introduces the fighters?
Luck, I guess.
Explain.
So I went from. So in high school, I was doing commentating, announcing. I got in with radio TV with Jim Russell, who just retired. It's pretty cool that see him go full circle and go through retirement, and he's got his retirement job now. Super cool to see him succeeding in life, but outside of teaching. But I did that, and then once I got out of school, I kind of started working with while I was at Domino's. Actually, I was announcing baseball. So I did 2 seasons announcing baseball.
I vaguely remember that.
I went back and forth announcing some high school sports, commentating football. I've done some college sports, lacrosse. Like that was probably the dumbest one. Field hockey. Like it was cool though. Like it was fun.
Yeah, what made you want to do all that? Like you said, in high school you started?
Yeah. So my freshman year I got hurt.
Oh.
And I couldn't play my sophomore year. And one of my friends had come up to me and asked me to commentate a game with him, because where he was coming from, if you look at like the NFL, and I'm not comparing myself to these guys at all, but if you look at like Tony Romo, Troy Aikman, Jason Witten, I just named all Cowboys players, but if you look at like some of the greatest color analysts, all of the greatest color analysts in the game are former players.
Okay.
So at the high school level, it's tough to do that. So I wasn't playing that year because I was hurt, but he had kind of asked me to come up and sit in the booth with him, kind of be a color analyst. From there, it went from that to working for another company, just doing some more stuff, more of the same stuff for Richmond High School, and it just kind of took off from there. I enjoyed it. I've always been a big wrestling fan. I always loved like Jim Ross, Jerry Lawler, Michael Cole was kind of cool.
Fair.
So, I mean, it was always something that I was like, oh, that'd be cool, but like, whatever. Like, how do you even do that? And then ring announcing didn't even become a idea until I would say I got involved with the fight scene last April.
Was that your idea or?
It was kind of my idea. So Dan Kirkpatrick, when we went to Buffalo, he was the announcer. And it was really awesome. He came out. So I wear my jackets because they're inspired by him.
Bro, your jackets are
that shit is
fucking
fire, bro.
dope.
Yeah, they're. It's because it's inspired by him.
Bro, when
Fair.
I entered the cage, and I like tapped you on your shoulder. That was like legit shit, bro.
When you touched the
like, just
material?
touched your shoulder real quick. I was like, yeah, that's
Well,
dope shit.
I've got it in the car and I almost brought it in, but it's
Bro.
like
I think you
it's
should.
super cool. Should we bring it in?
I think you should.
Here,
She's
you want
already going.
you want the key?
I think it's just
Sorry.
it's very Brendan. Is it the same one?
Yeah.
Yes, please.
I'm gonna be
yes.
honest. My headsets are out there too. I haven't even taken them out of the car. Yet.
Fair.
Literally everything is still in the car.
I would love.
That shit was a week ago. That's crazy. It's
Talk to him about that.
It's almost 2 weeks.
I would love for you to have that on
soon.
here.
Oh, shit,
I think
it is
it's
on
very
soon.
Brendan.
Okay,
it's
time's
very
left.
It's hot. I don't think I'm gonna wear it tonight, but
Of course.
we'll bring it
I
in.
want to at least show the camera what.
Keaton can wear it.
Yeah, Keaton, you gonna wear it,
Alright,
bro?
let's do
Wear it for the
Dude,
show.
is it gonna?
Let's do it.
Yeah, there we go.
Dude, so it was. I picked the wrong color and I didn't realize it until halfway through the show, because the sun is facing me. I'm
Oh,
looking
so you're
directly
a-
into the sun.
Fucking disco
So
ball.
I don't know if you guys saw it,
That's
but
crazy.
I announced like 2 fights in sunglasses
Yes, I did.
because I couldn't
didn't
see.
see that.
I couldn't see.
That was funny.
So it was pretty cool. I forgot that I had them on, and Skylar was like, "They don't match," so I took them off and threw them over the cage. But it was pretty cool.
I need to ask my teammate Brock on because his fight is when it really fucking shone through the sun. I need to ask him
True.
if that fucked with him at all, and if it like.
Bro, you could see every drop
Because
of
I could
sweat in that
imagine
fight, bro.
fighting. I could imagine just locking up with this dude, going in the motions, and then just like sun right there. That would fuck with me. That would
Getting
fuck with me.
blinded while you're getting choked out, bro.
Oh.
If you ever watch jujitsu though, like watch other people do jujitsu, like they're not necessarily looking at like their next move. A lot of it's just like feels too.
Very true.
So I wonder. I don't know if it would actually be that much of a difference while on the ground, but
Yeah.
I mean I could also see like getting hit from out of nowhere because of you can't see.
Yeah.
You getting
Yeah.
beamed in the
Yeah,
face, bro.
especially with like how fast timing
Right.
is and how it works. Maybe.
That's like the other day I took a head kick and he had got me perfectly. I couldn't keep my eye open, and
Damn.
I could only imagine that that's exactly what it felt like. Like you're sitting here staring into the sun, like you got to have your eyes closed or you're going blind.
Right.
And even if your eyes are open, you're not seeing anything.
You're
Yeah.
squinting.
So I got to
like-
imagine that's what it feels like until you can at least turn around.
The cage controls about facing away from the sun. in
Yeah.
that scenario.
That's the chess
Get the
move.
strats.
No, dude, I genuinely think you're really good at what you do. I think I think you are portraying a character, which is dope. I don't know if you have like an announcer name or if it's just Brendan Evans.
Yeah, so I just go by Brendan Evans
Okay.
as an announcer. But like I really do take a lot of pride in what I do. Like Damian Sexton, like probably one of the best, if not the best fighter in the circuit.
Okay.
He's a great guy. He messaged me the other day. Like out of nowhere. I hadn't talked to this guy since July was my last message to him. He said,
There it is. There
just
it
wanted
is.
to stop and say that I watched the fight finally when you announced me. Really, really announced it. Preston Hart, who was doing commentary, said 100% that was the most intense you got for any fighter. From the bottom of my heart, I truly can't thank you enough. And that was really cool because I don't always, like, for working at the promotion. Oh, yeah, there's a couple.
Oh, he's got the cards.
But for working
That
for the
jacket is dope.
promotion, I typically don't get, like,
Keaton's gonna put it on.
recognition much at all.
There we go. Actually, you know what? I can put this on the story
you
right
gotta
now.
walk out in that sometimes.
Dude,
This is how
I'm
I-
gonna put this on the story for the
Take it off,
the
put it
conscious
on.
cast.
I'd let him.
Right?
I'd let him.
Bro,
Absolutely.
I also wanted to ask, how did you react to Keaton being like, "Yo, when I win, can you give me the mic?"
I don't think I don't remember him saying when I win. I think he
Okay.
just said
It was
after
like
the
after
fight.
the match,
Okay,
yeah.
I didn't know if that's what you said or not. But how did you react? Because no other fighter got a mic that night.
I told him to ask Stewart.
Yeah,
I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, like how did
Because
you-
it was like I said, I love Levi, man. He's an awesome dude. But like, how do you react? Like,
Yeah.
what are you supposed to do?
Right.
Like, he didn't show up. Like at the end of the day, it comes down to he didn't show up. And no matter what the circumstance was, and I feel bad
Right.
for him. Like I've talked to him since then, and I kind of feel for him. But at the same time, like this guy was left without an opponent. Like I did the ticket sales. Like the guy sold. Like I know that.
Right.
And I feel bad for him. Like I want to see this guy succeed and get the light he deserves and whatnot. Like he
Right.
sold for it. He earned a spot. He was in the top 5, and they kind of got stripped away from him. Luckily, we
respect
were
that.
able to make it happen with a grappling match last minute. Thank God, Subdue came through on that because I know there was some back and forth on whether they wanted it to happen or whether Dorian wanted to do it, or I don't know what it was, but I know there was some confusion on it. So
I think it was mostly
I'm
the
glad it worked
weight.
out.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
I
the
almost
weight
fought
went
Dale
down.
Long.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, bro. I was like, because they were telling me if we want to do kickboxing, then they want to see me start to sweat. And it was the day of the fight. I was like, fuck that. And I went and checked my weight, and I was like 39 point something. So I wasn't even 140 yet. And I was like, bruh, that is enough weight, I think, for a kickboxing fight. And it wasn't even Dorian or anything. It was mostly his team and his girl, probably. So there's nothing against Dorian.
Dude, she impressed me. She really
actually
did.
did not bad.
It was one of the
Not
close.
as bad
Oh,
as
yeah,
I thought
South
she
Buff.
was going to do. Because that other chick was a beast. I thought she was going to get it just because of her. Like, that
Right.
chick was a killer. But she did a lot. Because it was her debut, right? It was the first time she'd done anything, right?
I think for both of them.
Yeah. Oh, both of them even.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think. But like Paige, like, and I'd tell her this to her face. I didn't know how much training she actually did. She's really good friends with my sister.
Oh, cool.
So I was kind of scared for her. I'm not gonna lie. It made me a little nervous
Yeah.
going into it because I don't know how much this person trains. And if I see anybody like these guys right here, so this is kind of cool that she brought these two in because they're both fierce guys, but they both wanted to fight, and they were both close to the same skill level, so we put them together. So like we knew that these guys weren't the most experienced, but they went in, they worked their asses off, and they got to where they were.
They're both from
So
Fierce
yeah, so we put them in an exhibition against each other.
Nice.
So it was really cool.
It's cool that they didn't have a problem with that. Because I feel like I even would be like, why?
Kickboxing.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I couldn't imagine fighting, like, I don't know. It would just be weird. Like, after putting in a certain amount of time with someone, training, it would be, it's even a weird thought to, like, fight in a crowd. Like, I would definitely be down, especially if there was a title on the line and shit.
Yeah, so I mean it's different, but at the same time, like they weren't fighting for a title. They weren't even fighting for wins and losses. Like
Yeah, it was an exhibition.
it's an
especially,
exhibition.
yeah.
We did announce a winner because we felt like both of these guys went
Yeah.
out and they deserved to know.
Fact.
They deserved a win or they
Yeah.
deserved a loss. Like they deserve to get their hands.
The winner
raised at the end
deserves to
of
get
the
that
day.
feeling and all that shit.
Like I'm not gonna get like one of them deserved to walk out with a medal too. Like both of them did put the work in. I mean, they just trained. They just worked against somebody that they trained with, and I think that makes it a better fight.
Fair.
If I train with you for 6 months, and I know exactly what you're coming at me with,
Yeah, then you really.
it's going to make it a better fight.
That's a true point.
In my opinion, I don't.
Yeah.
I can't speak to that, fully.
Right.
Like I don't think Conor McGregor would ever fight a teammate, but I mean, it's a local show. I mean, both guys have a ton of potential. They're really good guys, really great guys. But, I mean, what's it going to hurt to let both of the guys fight each other?
Yeah.
That's what
Just to get experience.
I was about to say. It's like, even if they're not walking away with like a medal or it on their record, it's like they're at least getting exposed to that, and they're seeing what the effort can bring from that.
Right.
Like if they put in all that work and they get in the ring and they fight like that, it's like that's what the effort's for, and then they can carry that over into when they finally are looking to put wins and losses on their record, like hopefully wins, but
Right. And this can kind of be a question for you because I don't know how much you guys could relate. Maybe with as being an artist like you are, maybe you could relate to this a little bit. But your first fight is always like you're walking out, your knees are a little shaky, like you don't know what's gonna happen. You're in front of I think there was at least 800 people there, 600 people there. It was dope, but how are you going to react in front of that many people? Everyone's like always watching a horror movie. Oh, well, I would have just done this.
LOL.
Show me. Do it.
Yeah.
And that's what these guys did. They went out and they got that out of the way. So, I mean, even if they do go further and, for their debut fight now, they have a little bit of experience. They've been in front of a crowd. I mean, there is a disadvantage to that. People have film on them now, but at the same time, like,
I think having film on me makes me better because every time I watch that film, like I know Connor's gonna be watching my. I even know it's a grappling match, but like I know Connor's gonna be watching my past fights, and it's like, what can he be watching that
I think
not to
I
do
think a
next
grappling match could potentially give away more than a regular
Think
fight.
so?
Well, what's your
Ooh,
guard
I
pass
see what you're
tendency look
saying.
like?
My what?
What's your guard pass look like?
I immediately took him down into side control. So
Right.
well, and then he got back up. There's definitely going to be some stuff to be seen for sure. Yeah.
Right, but you could look more in depth of your grappling tendencies rather than, and I'm not trying to tell Connor what to
Of
do
course.
here,
Yeah.
but I feel like you could look more in depth into your grappling tendencies.
Absolutely.
Like at the same time, he's going to go watch your title fight with Sakai, your first and your second one.
Yeah.
I think you performed much better your second one myself.
Yeah.
I think the first one was very close, but I think the second one was pretty, decisive.
Yeah.
Even though you showed up at, February 22nd, picked up the title from Myron and just walked out. You didn't even stay to watch a fight, but I forgive you.
Wait, what was it?
When you showed up at the Fear Show to grab the title, because he got a new title belt,
Yeah.
and then you didn't even stay to watch any fights. You just left. We forgive you. But, that's neither here nor there. But
Damn it.
you could be looking at your kickboxing fights as much as you're going to look at your grappling fights to figure out how your stand-up tendencies are versus your ground tendencies.
Yeah.
I mean, you have MMA film too. Like, he's going to be able to see all that.
Oh, yeah.
So I think he'd be stupid to not look as in-depth into your grappling as he is your kickboxing or MMA.
That's a good point because I was pretty
Not saying he's
in-depth.
stupid.
Absolutely.
But
I
you
mean,
would be if.
But I was pretty in depth watching Levi's grappling match against Zachary Utterbeck, and I mean, yeah, that proved a lot to me about like the
Dude,
slowness.
it was quick.
Yeah, I think that's just. It is so funny how I shit on him for grappling a 25er, and then he makes me grapple a 25er.
Of course,
That
that's
pisses me
how it
off,
works
bro.
out. Of course,
I have to
bro.
shit on him, but yeah, yeah, that's a good.
So
point.
now that everything's said and done, though, do you have like I want to hear you say one nice thing about Levi.
Man, this is the thing. He's made me hate him just because of how he has acted towards me. Because I was gonna hug him in the ring after I knock him out and everything. Like it was gonna. I was for real. Like
It was gonna be all said and done.
Yeah, exactly. It was gonna be all said and done. And now this has kind of even made it a more awkward thing because I don't even know how to feel about you. Like I don't want to even think about you, but you hurt my feelings, bro. Like you ruined my chance of a good night. It was still a good night. But.
He put even if it was unconsciously, he put a lot of hype around that fight.
Mm-hmm.
His reaction and the podcast and the what's the word I'm looking for? Turbulence between you both.
Okay.
Like a lot of you guys were both, well, more so him. He was more stirred up and
Yeah.
like very like amped and ready.
That's
to
the way
fight.
he handles
Right.
fights, though.
And then he doesn't show up to the weigh-in, and then we find out the day of that he's not making it, and we don't even hear it from him. And then we look him up on Instagram and Facebook, and both of them are deleted. It's like, if I were in your shoes, it would be very difficult for me to empathize with that. It'd be very difficult. It's like, I don't know what Levi's going through. I don't know Levi. I didn't know Levi
especially
before.
as a martial artist, I would at least tell my coach. I would text my coach, my teammates, like, I mean, I would even text my opponent and be like, look, all shit talk aside, bro, I hope you understand. But everyone has a different way of dealing with stuff. I don't know the ins and outs of it.
Dude,
I just hope, like, even seeing him train on the next Monday and show up to training, I was like, are you fucking serious? But I'm glad that he's not at home fucking wanting to kill himself. Like, god damn it. I'm glad that he's, because that was kind of concerning too. Like, I feel like going to that depth of a level to delete your social media and shit.
yes. It's like,
yeah, that's scary.
I don't know Levi, and a lot of people were defending Levi. I was hearing them talk to you about Levi, like, oh, bro, that sucks, but I still like Levi. And it's like, Levi might be a cool dude, but I think that the way he handled the situation with not giving any of his own input was at least disrespectful.
That's the word.
At least disrespectful.
I was gonna say it's disrespectful
To the fight game?
to
Keaton?
to you because it's like, what are you? That was just like, not to say you got nothing out of it, but it was like a waste of your time. It's like you spent a whole month preparing for this fight and all of the talking and the mental energy that's put into it, and it's just like you're just not gonna show up and not say anything. It's crazy.
I could have
What-
fought Connor.
Well, I don't.
Fighting Connor that night would have been sick.
I don't think necessarily. I think that's a fight that deserves some build first of all.
What?
Like you
Connor?
can't
Connor?
just throw that fight in the cage.
Right.
That's like everyone
like
everyone
that,
asks
get
all
it
the
over.
time.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like there was somebody talking day of, and we were talking about the November show, and there's some hardware on the line in November, and he asked him like we were talking about potentially setting up a fight. He was like, tonight. I'm like, I don't understand why people like fighters think that we're just gonna throw a title fight on the show just because. Why we're promoting that? Like that's a big fight. Like you're gonna want your family there for that fight.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna want like distant friends. Like
Right.
you know, all of us worked at Domino's. If I was fighting for a title and I worked at Domino's, all three of y'all are showing up. I'm sure.
Right.
Yeah.
Like it's a big deal. But on the other hand, to kind of respond to what you said, I don't think he wasted his time at all because regardless of what happened, Levi pushed him to be better. He pushed like I get the mental side of things like. You know, the Steelers forced into a bye week halfway into it a couple years ago because of COVID. Like, that's one thing.
Right.
But like this, I get it. The mental anguish that he was put through and everything. And I don't want to say anguish. Maybe that's a bad word for it because I don't think he pushed you to the brink of anything. But
Insanity.
You're right.
Strain almost. It
Mad
was like
dog.
mental.
Still had to.
Mental strain.
But
to,
he
Yeah.
you can't tell me he didn't get better. Like
Well,
there
that's
was there
what-
was a little bit between like Kenny and Damien. Like, dude,
Yeah, bro.
that like stuff like that. Like that was kind of cool. Like
Right.
it made content.
Well, that's why
It
I was
put
saying.
eyes on all of you guys. I don't think it was a waste of time at all because regardless, he got better.
That's why I was saying it's like it's not that he got nothing out of it.
And I think Levi got better too for what it's worth.
Well, I mean, I'm still gonna stand on the claim of I think it was disrespectful.
Yeah.
I can't say I disagree with that.
Right.
Especially
Because I think in the moment, I think it was a little disrespectful.
Yeah.
Like I said, I've talked to Levi. I love Levi, but I get what you're saying.
Do you think you could link up at least like a sit down conversation with me and him?
Dude, that'd be crazy.
Like behind cameras, behind closed doors.
I don't know if I could
could
do it off film. I don't know if I could do it off film.
You have to film it.
Bro,
No,
if that
I'm
was
kidding, but
filmed, bro,
Like a face to
that'd
face.
be huge.
But
That'd be a good YouTube video.
Right.
Where you guys both show up.
Brennan, when you starting your podcast, bro?
dude, I just want to say first of all, I wanted to do that first,
Yeah.
and so I'm glad it didn't work out. Like not because of who it didn't work out for. Like me and him have had some like stuff in the
Especially
past,
you
but
being
like.
fierce.
Like I really wish we could have done that in
Yeah.
person with me first because it was my idea first. But I'm not gonna harp on you too much.
I mean, hey.
I mean I can make you take my jacket off and everything for it. But I ain't gonna do all that.
Dude,
but-
I got him on the story wearing it. It's on the guy's story right now with you wearing that. You're sipping your coffee, bro. Yeah,
That's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
That's awesome.
Bro.
We got to hear Keaton do his best Brendan Evans now.
Oh yeah, I would love that.
You said what?
You
We
gonna
got-
you gonna try to pull a Brennan Evans on
Here
us?
we go.
Pull your announcer voice out here. Let's
Hold on,
hear it.
hold on.
Who
Never
am I
mind.
announcing here?
So what
Where
I
do I
do is I
start?
do Newcastle, Fierce. I don't do the shorts. His so Fierce Fight Series,
Love
Heat
that he's in
Wave,
the
the
jacket.
class.
The jacket is dope,
Sponsor
bro.
fight sponsored by, from,
'Kay.
representing the name.
Okay. Nah, this is gonna be a
You
good.
got Vince McMahon. No, I'm just kidding.
Fighting out of the red corner, weighing in at 140 pounds. Wait, shit, did I miss the sponsor? When did the sponsor come in?
So start with the weight class of the fight,
Okay.
then the sponsor.
Oh,
I
I was
don't
doing
say
it
what
right.
the
Yeah, dude,
fight.
you
I
had
don't
it
say
Yeah,
what
bro,
fighter
you have the
is.
first part really good.
Okay.
Then so 1, 2, and then pause. 1, 2, 3.
Bam. Alright. Fighting out of the red corner at the 140-pound weight class, sponsored by Gladiator Combat. Fighting out of Newcastle, Indiana, representing Fierce Martial Arts, Nick Luna.
That's not bad.
Honestly, that was better
not
than I
bad.
Nick,
thought it was
I
gonna
want
be.
my props, and I want you to post me on your Instagram or
Bro, that's
Snapchat or whatever you
clip-worthy.
got,
Can we
Nick.
clip that? That was pretty good. Dude, that's gonna be the first reel of the episode.
Got heated up.
That's awesome.
Ooh. Got
Dude.
spicy.
Dude, it's hot.
Champo, here you go.
Dude,
Did
it
you run
was
that thing all night?
dude, it
Yeah,
was like
bro, outside. I don't know how the fuck
it was
you
what
did that.
85 degrees that day, 90.
That's
Yes,
crazy.
bro.
85, 90
It was
degrees the whole time.
crazy that day.
And he had been there all day.
Oh yeah, you were there all morning.
Exactly.
Yeah. I left for like half an hour to get a shower and eat food, and I was right back.
Fair.
Nobody knew.
Nobody knew. Yeah.
How would they know?
Right.
How would they know?
I just told them.
Well, we're being recorded actually, so. Brendan, could you ever see yourself starting a podcast?
So I did. I was
How
doing.
did that go?
I was doing the Brendan Evans show for.
That's dope.
So we.
I do think I remember you doing that a
We,
couple times.
Yep, we started in February or March of 23, and it lasted until about, I would say maybe May-ish
What happened?
time.
Oh, okay.
So we're working on bringing it back now, the Brendan Evans show with me and Eric LaFuse. We don't have like any specific, so we were doing like all sports.
Mm-hmm.
Just a wrestling show has been in the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
I do have a guest in mind that I've already talked to. I've got to go. We've got to talk to TNA and see if we can get them first. We got to get their approval.
Fair.
I don't think we'd have an issue though, but I can't say the name on air yet, just because it hasn't been posted and whatnot.
Fair,
but
fair.
I'll tell you. I'll have to tell you guys later.
Okay. Fair enough.
So we're looking at doing that, and then it'll be at a local business. So they've got multiple locations, but it would be at an out-of-town location.
Yeah, I was curious because it seems like it would be like your cup of tea to interview fighters, to interview just other announcers. Probably, I could see you having very good dialogue with people.
Very
like that.
smooth.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so we're doing that. It'll be an in-person thing. We'll maybe do it online. I'm not sure how we're going to do it yet, but it's also been a thing where we've done it with Fierce. I've been doing it with Fierce for a while. When I got on with Stuart, we were on air for an hour and a half, just me and him.
Damn.
And it's tough to do 2 people for half an hour, let
Yeah.
alone almost 2.
3 times that. That's
Yeah.
crazy. We've only been doing this for 2.5 months.
This would be the second week of the 3rd month.
Yeah, so just about 2 to 3 months.
Yeah,
is
4 people.
that's all.
Sometimes it's like we're like looking at each other like, fuck.
We-
Someone think of something, someone think of something. So I can imagine 2 people.
Yeah, dude, 2 people sounds like a headache.
Well, and what was funny was, one of my friends, Caleb Petty, called me afterwards, and he was like, I think it's hilarious. Y'all talk like you hadn't seen each other in weeks when I know you were just planning the show 10 minutes before that in his office. So, like, I was in one room, and he was in the next room, and we talked about everything we were going to talk about. And then I tried to wrap it up because I was supposed to teach a class, and he was like, no, I'm not done. So we just kept talking. Like,
Damn.
it was pretty cool. Like, but if you could get like genuine chemistry between people, like that's the biggest thing. Like you guys are doing this now. If you go back and watch the first episode, I guarantee it looks like shit.
Bro, we need to do that together. Now that
We
we're
have
at 10 episodes now.
True. We have some cool stories, but yeah, I bet it's way less. It's more chaotic. More like we don't.
Oh, yeah.
we're like there's not as much of a frame set around it.
Right.
Like with this, it's like whenever we have a guest on, at least the first time we have the guest on, it's very catered to that guest. It's like Brennan Evans wants to be on. That's dope. I have a bunch of questions for him. Was pretty much my whole assessment of that.
Right.
Because it's like, of course we go into Fierce Fight and then we see you and it's like, oh, Brandon's here. And it's like, oh, he has a mic. Oh, he's in the cage. Oh, he's announcing all the fighters. That is
Yeah.
crazy. It's like,
Yeah,
Brandon's doing that.
when we were at that May show and they told me, they were like, dude, you know Brendan Evans? I was like, yeah,
Who?
yeah, we've these guys.
Oh, okay.
I was like, yeah,
Yeah.
we've talked a few times and shit. They're like, dude, we've known him for years and shit like that. I was very surprised at the connection that
Right.
ended up fucking happening.
So we actually one thing I'm trying to get better at since I've been in the fight game and mainly with Fierce because Stuart has a very strong social media presence, and it's not where he wants it to be yet. But one of his biggest things is he likes to take pictures,
Okay.
capture moments, and that's why I asked you guys to take a picture that night. So I can send it to you guys later if you want to post that.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't.
Do you remember when we all took a photo?
I vaguely remember.
I remember that.
It's so weird because it's not even like I was drunk.
Right.
I don't really remember.
It was a
There's lot of shit going
very
on.
very short moment,
Fair.
The one that,
and it was about
is that
173
the one that Billy
degrees.
was at?
Yes,
Yeah.
I believe so.
Oh,
It was
that
also in
one.
Newcastle, right?
Yeah. So
Oh.
that
I
was.
thought we were talking about the last fight.
No, we didn't take a photo with Brendan last
Dude,
fight.
yeah, I was like,
Yeah, you're like,
I
when?
don't remember that, bro.
Yeah,
Like,
no, I don't. Yeah, it's hard to remember shit from that
Dude,
event.
so that show,
Jesus.
we had a kickboxing show 2 weeks before that in the same building.
Damn.
What?
So he
Did you
was.
have to tear it all apart and put it all back up?
Let me see.
No, it was 2 separate shows.
Oh,
I had nothing to do with that
Oh,
show.
okay.
No, so I personally bought a ticket
Oh,
to that show.
The one that we saw you at?
Yeah.
they didn't just let you in for free? Bro, you're Brendan Evans,
So
bro.
there's a lot of conflict there, and again, I hate to keep saying this, but we can chat about it off
Right,
screen.
right.
But
I
like,
understand.
I'm gonna start making a list of
you
everything
said
we gotta
Fierce
talk
Fight.
about.
I'm making a list. You said Fierce Fight's having a show in
Fair.
November.
Yeah, November 9th,
MMA.
kickboxing. So it's a Trey Cole benefit show. So if you go back to the live, Dale Long was talking about it, and I talked to him about setting up a podcast with him soon to talk about why they do the show and whatnot. So Trey Cole was a professional fighter. He was a very good friend of mainly Dale's, but from what he's told me, I don't know how close him and Stuart were. Me and him, we haven't really talked about it, but so they were all kind of close, and he passed away on a motorcycle accident. So every year they hold a benefit show, and they actually are able to help still provide for the kids on Trey's behalf. Cut a check for Christmas gifts. I think one kid just went to college not too long ago. He got a little bit of money out of that account, or just graduated. I'm not sure of the exact situation. If you go back to the face-offs, Ryan Stout wasn't there, and I faced off with Dale Long. He kissed me on the cheek, but right after that, he talked about the show itself and the benefit and everything like that.
Ah, that's what they were. Okay.
Yeah.
I know what
It
you're
was
talking
very
about.
hard to hear because we were testing some new mics that night. Looking back, we should have done it like way before that, but we were testing out some new wireless mics and whatnot. So it was kind of interesting to see how everything played out. But that's kind of what he was talking about. So we're gonna be doing a podcast again soon, but totally unrelated. But are you interested in getting on?
Dude, so about that May show, I might be fighting a little guy from Subdue for a title in that promotion.
We'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that later. Add it to the list.
Yeah, add it to the list, man. It's like 7.
Dude, if it's not hitting volume, I'm gonna be pissed.
Uh-oh.
No, it's picking us up. It's just
Okay.
not that loud.
Sounds fine to me.
Okay, fair enough. He turned up his phone. I didn't hear anything, and I was like, bro, if it's not catching us, I'm gonna be pissed.
We can redo this all.
Yeah, we
that's
just
right.
repeat everything we just said.
Like,
I was gonna say, if you ever
for
like,
those of you who didn't know watching at home, there's a teleprompter back here, and we're really reading off. None of this is
Loud.
live.
it's all scripted.
It's all scripted. Kamala Harris press conference.
Bro, no way.
I was gonna say like, if you start up your podcast again, I don't know like if you ever want guests. I'm
Yeah,
sure we'd be
absolutely.
More than willing.
Yeah, let's do it.
And I also
Yeah, definitely.
It's crazy that you bring up having Stuart on your podcast because I was just talking to them. I was like, dude, we should try to get Stuart on the podcast now that we got Brendan on it.
Yeah.
And then just like I would love to rack that man's brain of like the things that he's doing
Facts.
and like because he seems very successful.
I'm very interested
Here's-
in his home owning. His home owning.
Look,
so
here's
Real estate?
Yeah.
here's the thing with Stuart. He's a really smart guy. He values mentorship, and stuff like that. And that's a hard quality to find in a lot of people.
Facts.
It's hard to get people that want advice, let alone use the advice and take that they get. So Stuart can talk for days. He has a lot of knowledge.
I
He's
would
a very
love that.
smart guy. So if you, I'll talk to him. I know he'd be more than happy to get on. He's in Greece right now.
Oh,
Dude,
cool.
I was
2 or
seeing.
3 weeks.
I was like, bro, he
But-
is. I didn't know where he was at, but I was like, looks nice as fuck.
Yeah, bro,
But,
that's dope.
Dude, somebody was asking me the other day, like, I think it was yesterday. One of his friends called me and he was like, he's gonna be gone for like 2 weeks, right? And I was like, for what? Like I thought it was in November, and he was like, you don't talk to him? And I was like, I mean, I did last week. Like,
Yeah.
so like
Right.
we and him don't talk like all the time. Like we're friends, we work together and whatnot. But so I'll bring it up to him.
That would be sick. I would love that.
Hey, Heat Wave sold good, huh? Heat Wave sold good. Huh?
Hell
Fans
no,
of
bro.
Greece for 2 weeks.
So
Good for him.
he's had that trip booked for a long time. And if you're interested in the real estate, like you'll probably be interested in this side of things too. Like, so they went on on an anniversary trip to Canada, and they spent less than $1,000. So like,
Whoa, okay.
and he
Flight
posted.
and
He
shit
posted.
included?
So they drove. So he posted about it on
Okay,
Facebook.
okay,
Like
okay.
the reason he's able to do the stuff that he's able to do is because he does it smart.
Yeah.
Like
Very efficient.
like he plays the like point games. Have you ever heard of the point games with like credit cards? So like for me, like I have a Chase Sapphire preferred card. So I've built up so many points. They're worth so much for travel, and that goes towards flights or hotels. So me and her just booked a hotel. We're going to Tennessee in October,
Nice.
3 or 4 nights, and it was completely paid for by points.
Let's go.
So that's the
Damn.
things that everybody sees Stuart, and he's like, we like to call him Dana. 'Cause everyone likes to
Like
call
Dana
him
White?
Dana.
Yeah.
But like when
Dude,
you
he
look
kinda
at
fits
it,
that. He
there-
fits that.
there's not as much, and we joke about it on the last podcast we did together. There's not as much money in the fight game as everyone thinks there is. Like for Heat Wave, there was so much overhead.
Damn.
Because when you look at all the staff we had to have versus, and then you add on, commission, and then, the cost to do concessions, and then the cost to do the venue, like
And then having to
everything
pay
adds
the
up.
fighters.
Right.
And then having to pay the fighters.
Yeah,
right?
every fighter wants to get paid, of course. It's like for
I-
step in the ring.
I mean, we offer the commissions.
Mhm.
So I mean, as long as you sell a certain amount, like above a certain amount, like you definitely get one.
Fair.
I'm not gonna
Dude.
lie. Like I probably shouldn't say this, but I was a little worried when I saw your ticket sales at first. In the last week,
That's when it
you
happens,
killed
bro.
it in the last
Yeah.
week.
That's when it happens. Every one of my people are like just like me. I'm not gonna fucking lie, and they just wait till the last minute.
Procrastinate.
Yeah, they're like,
Okay,
all right,
okay.
now I'll do it.
Fair.
But Stuart's a very smart guy to ask about that stuff because he could sit there and talk about it for days, but like he's done it long enough to where he knows the smart ways of doing things, like vacationing super cheap, financially sound ways of doing things. Like he posted not too long ago, like the Fiesta that I drove here today. He drove that Fiesta for 6 years with no car payment just because he didn't have a car payment.
Damn.
Dude.
I don't want to be driving a Fiesta. I'd be getting a new car as soon as I
Dude,
could.
yeah, fuck
That's what
driving.
I had.
right. Like,
The best car I ever had.
Dude,
Dude, it was the best
honestly,
car I
dude,
ever had.
Same.
Really?
Yeah, and then a fucking cop towed my car.
Oh, shit,
Totaled
that
my
was the one
car.
that got
Yeah,
me.
bro.
That was crazy.
hold on. Who's the cop?
It was in Columbus, Ohio.
Columbus, Ohio.
Tell me
Yeah,
the story
yeah.
real quick.
The story. Well, all right. Well, it happened in.
Hold on, you haven't told the story yet on the podcast, have you?
What?
You haven't told the story yet on
my
the podcast.
cars?
Yeah.
Or my car? No, I haven't yet.
Okay, so this is a first.
Yes, in the
This is
span
awesome.
of 24 hours, my car got destroyed in 2 different ways. So, they were.
These guys know the story.
They were there.
They're
Yes.
up in the excitement here.
So Alyssa and Keaton were both at the house. It's like what, midnight,
Dude,
1 a.m.
yeah.
And
We were just fucking chilling, drinking.
we lived in the most sus area of Columbus. So we were
Very
already
much
used
so.
to gunshots. So we hear this big boom.
And it
outside.
was like a light went
Yes.
off like out the window.
Hold on, I'm gonna
and I
pull
was
up
like,
the
that was
photo.
fireworks.
You have a photo?
I have a photo of. This is crazy. Hold on. This is actually fucking hilarious. So we go outside, and there is a big. What kind of car was it? Like it was like
Yeah,
an
it was
SUV
like some kinda
on
SUV.
its side.
On
in
the
middle-
driver's side.
On the driver's side. So he had this dude was drunk. He had to climb out of the top of the vehicle, and he was just like walking like this because he was fucked up already, and he just got toppled over. And my car paid the price.
Dude, he gets out of the car and he's like, "Oh shit, man."
You guys got a lighter?
Yeah, bro. He just kept asking us for a lighter.
So this is you're gonna see the car toppled over at one point, but please let me know when it pops up because I don't remember where it is.
We're seeing your car. We're seeing
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
Dude, that's a Honda.
Bro.
It was like a hatchback.
Yeah.
It's a CRV.
Oh, fair.
It looks like a CRV.
Dude,
Bro.
this man was like, dude,
That's not like a regular
again,
CRV, like,
bro,
those
it was
aren't
like,
super
yeah,
top
it was
heavy.
like,
Fair.
he was saying it wasn't the first time, and he was like, bro, I was like,
Is that a
I
party?
was supposed to DoorDash tonight, and my friend was having a birthday party, so I went there instead, and it was like,
so that
Bro.
happens, and that's
Should have been DoorDashing.
yeah.
yes. That's the comedy.
These are the type of moves that Stuart will talk about. Like the smart financial decisions, make
Fair.
money.
So that was the comedy for the night. He toppled his car onto mine, but my car was still drivable. And I needed to make money. I'm in Columbus. I had to spend $8,000 to move to Columbus. So I'm $8,000 in debt. I'm trying to work that off. So I'm like, fuck it. My car's drivable. I'm going to Uber. The next day, a cop in a Ford Range Rover is going like 50 on a 30 and blows through a red light at a 4-way stop and smashes my car. And I do a 360.
Dude.
And this is the photo of that. This is the next day.
I never saw this one.
All the airbags.
Every airbag went off. This is what happened the day after that drunk driver toppled his car.
I will question you. What's a Ford Range Rover?
Am I tripping? It's a Ford Range Rover, right? It's a big ass fucking.
I think you're thinking of Ford Ranger.
I'm a fucker. Yeah, I'm not a car guy. Ford Ranger, but he.
That's a truck.
what?
It's pretty
Was
much
it like a truck? It was-
A Range Rover is a Range Rover. It's not a
Fair.
Yeah,
Ford.
Range Rovers are like
But
the
police
rich.
always
Oh yeah, I know what a Range Rover
Yeah,
is.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
Police always do Dodge. It's a Dodge Durango.
Okay, fair.
Yeah.
Well, he was in a pretty big car and. Truck. Sorry. I'm not a car guy.
He was in a motor vehicle.
Yeah, he was in something on wheels, and
Yeah, that's not a range. That's not what the cop was
the
driving.
police never helped me with
The
this.
cops in a Range Rover, you fucked up.
Yes, exactly. And wait, is that the Range Rover? LOL. Anyway,
It's an SUV like that.
yeah, whatever. Just imagine red and blue lights on top. But
David is the conscious cast.
yeah.
That's what the cop was driving.
Yeah, there we go.
$209,000.
And he said on the police report he was only going 25. Does this look like a car that was only going 25 to you? Because I don't think so. The way that it impacted me, I don't think so. I had bruises on my fucking arms and waist. But yeah, in the span of...
If you walked away from that with just bruises, like, you're
True.
doing pretty good.
Yeah, it hit the passenger side of the car, so it didn't hit me at all, really.
Did it knock your hairpiece off?
No, actually.
I'm sorry.
Sorry for being vulnerable, but
Well, tell you shit.
That's the Columbus police.
That's a Range Rover right there.
yeah, it's the Range Rover.
That's fine.
Ford.
It's
The
the
Ford Range
limo.
Rover.
It's the Chevy Buick Honda Civic.
Equinox.
Yeah.
Well, see, so the cop was not at fault, correct? They fucked you.
They said no. They tried to make it where I was at fault. They were trying to get me to sign all this paperwork, and then the head officer came up and was like, "Don't sign anything. We need to figure this out first before you just start signing shit." And I was like, "Thank you."
Oh, it's
Thank you, because I would have signed that shit.
I appreciate you, bro.
Ford Explorer.
Oh,
Could have been an Explorer.
Dude, you could have been Rigby and be like,
Yeah.
Bro, regular show is the shit.
Right,
Regular
but-
show is lit.
As of, it's been a year now since that happened, and still to this day, neither of us are at fault. And the entire time that they were like getting information from me, they were like, "All right, we're gonna look over the dash cam, we're gonna look over the camera footage, and we're gonna find out." I got a hold of the police headquarters there several times. They were difficult as shit at every turn of the way, and they never provided me with any sort of footage. They never provided me with any sort of final verdict on who was at fault.
Did any of them have dash cams on or anything, like body cams?
Not that I could see, no. But
Okay.
they did say that there was a dash cam in the car, but every time
You can
I tried
make a
to,
public request for that.
I did.
And if they don't comply, make a formal complaint.
Right. I
Like
believe I
you
did that
can
as
you
well.
can lawyer up on that. So a lot of lawyers will like review your case and decide whether or not they think it's valid,
Yes.
and then decide to take it. And some of them won't even take payment unless Hannah's way smarter about this than I am.
Fair.
But so she can tell me if I'm just being an idiot.
I hear
But some people won't even take the case if they don't think you're gonna win.
Just to make
Right.
that clear, I'm not a
you.
lawyer.
There was a bunch of lawyers turned me
TikTok
down.
lawyer.
LOL. A bunch of lawyers turned the case down because no one was at fault. They're like, the only way that I can put all my eggs in this basket is if the cop's at fault.
And the cop's not going to say he was at
Right,
fault.
and they're not going to do anything to not
fuck.
put the cop at fault. They
Because
just-
they're not going to look into it to where they're like, hey, what's your story?
If they knew for a fact it was my fault, they would have called me the next day. But since it wasn't, they would have been like, "Oh, fuck this kid. This kid owes us money."
Got you,
But
got
now
you.
that they can't do that because it's his fault, they're gonna take their time.
They'll just hide the video.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They're gonna let it die down.
Fair,
I would check up like every month or so.
I agree. I should look back into it.
It's already died down, isn't it?
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a year. So.
Yeah, it's been a year. They said they were looking for an analyst
Go
for
take
the footage.
well, it's like the same scenario of like, dude, the system's not set up to help you. It's like, dude, when we got robbed
yeah.
in Muncie,
Yep. My
they
house.
took everything from me,
my
bro.
house got
My
robbed.
laptop with all my music on it, my hard drive, like my Switch. They took Avery's keys. I don't know if you ever met Avery.
They stole his Jeep.
Yeah, they stole his Jeep after. It was like it already went down, and then like a couple days later, his wallet was like missing money because he was leaving his wallet in his car, and his Jeep was just unlocked. He's like, "How is this happening?" And then his Jeep is just gone one day, and they find it in some guy's driveway, and that's not enough evidence to be like, okay, we need to search this guy's house for all the stolen shit. Bro, the key that they were using to get into the Jeep was in a trash bag in the house.
Yeah, they had to
So
get into
the
the house.
only way they would have had that key is if they stole it out of the house.
They threw
But that's not enough.
They threw a cinder block through our window, and they cut the bottom of our couches open because they thought we might have hard drugs.
This
It
is why I
was
sleep with a gun.
Fucking fair enough.
Like,
Yeah. I mean, it was crazy, bro. It was definitely at least like a 4 or 5. Did you ever know about this, Keaton? When we got robbed in Muncie?
I don't think so.
They threw a
Dude,
cinder block.
They stole all my music. You don't remember that?
Oh, yeah.
I think I have a photo. They threw a cinder block through our window.
Yeah.
And like fucking moved around all the furniture and shit, and like threw everything in my room all over the floor, just looking for shit, bro.
Dude.
That had to have been heroin.
Wait, hold on. What was the Halloween experience?
We've already made jokes about that, but
Yeah, that's what the cabinet door and glass bowl reference was.
yeah.
Okay.
If you guys could do
So,
a quick version
yeah,
of
we
that.
Can, we can TLDR. So basically, some fucking speedballing ass motherfucker
PCP.
was on Keaton's porch. It was a Halloween party. We're all hanging out. Keaton's
In
like,
Indy, downtown
yeah.
Indy.
And then this
Nice.
man like punched through the glass door,
Cut me
and then
up.
and then like walked around the house, came in through the back door, was in the kitchen, and we're all like, "Get the fuck out of here, bro! Like you don't belong here." And then Keaton's like standing up on this table right next to the doorway, and we hear this man crack open a drink. He just picked up a drink in the kitchen and just started like, and Keaton just looks
Bro.
in and then just fucking slams his face with this glass bowl that was like sitting there with like nuts and chips in it or whatever the fuck. And then he like fell down. And it was like, oh man, yeah, like, and then we're like, just leave, bro, like get out of here, like, and I'm like yelling at him, and in the commotion of him being at the front door, one of their friends had ripped off like this already broken cabinet door. It was like a dual cabinet door connected by hinges, and it was just laying on the table in front of me. So I just picked this bitch up and was like holding it,
Standing guard.
and I was like, do not come in here, bro, I will fuck you up. And then lo and behold, I just see his shadow moving across the wall. I was like, all right. And as soon as he came through the doorway, bro, I Kamehameha the cabinet door into his forehead.
Been on the board and everything.
Yeah, bro, I fucked this man up, and he died the next day. It was on Halloween because the party wasn't on Halloween.
So Noah is a killer.
Yeah.
Noah has killed someone.
He also was on PCPs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean
No.
that didn't help him.
Yeah, I wasn't on PCP.
Yeah.
Yeah, Noah
So
was killing
he had
everyone.
brain damage.
Noah did the final blow.
Briefly in the hospital. He never even made
Turns out they've all just been holding up the story because I was the one speedballing, and that's just how it all played out in my head. Like,
Yeah, that's what happened.
but yeah, so yeah, I've killed a guy before. Yeah.
like casual.
Noah is a killer. We got
This show has taken such a wide left
yeah.
turn.
The stories started opening up, bro.
Yeah.
We've done a lot of shit.
This is what happens on the Conscious Cast. We get into tangents, and it just goes.
Dude, y'all are a lot of fun. I got to be around more.
Bro,
or something.
I
Like-
love having you on here, bro.
Yeah.
This is
It's been
fun.
a good time.
Like, just to show, like, how much I don't know stuff. Like, I don't even, like, he was saying PCP. I don't even know what that means.
It's a drug.
It's a hard drug.
I just pretended to go along with it because, like,
You're like, yeah, cool.
Oh yeah, I like that shit.
Somebody died. No,
like
like,
ketamine or like
say less.
something.
It's a very hard
or
drug.
something.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But it's like,
I haven't done all those drugs, but I know it's something like that. It's ketamine or some shit, you know.
it was like the fact that he was so fucked up, bro. And this is the best part, honestly. It was like he was so fucked up that he just like didn't even put his hands up or anything. Like he didn't even see it coming.
It wasn't even a threat.
So it was like just straight to skull. Like he didn't tense up or anything. Like, and then, bro, after I did that, this man had the audacity to be like, "What the fuck, man? Why would you do that?" And I was like, "What do you mean? Why would I literally told you to get out of here, bro." Like, so yeah,
Broke into my house. So why would you do that?
yeah. Why would you hit me like that, bro? I was like,
Victim mentality.
yeah.
Yeah, bro.
The first weekend I lived in my house, I had my roommate, my friend, and me. We're all in my room because we only had one air conditioner at the time.
Hell
and it was
yeah.
hot. So we were all hanging out in my room. We were drinking. Somebody mixed Tito's with like watermelon Kool-Aid. It was I never drank it. That's totally irrelevant to the story. But anyways,
Weird though.
but somebody had walked in the house, like seen that nobody, like the person who used to be there, because he was on meth, bad, like a lot of
The
meth.
guy who used to live there, or the
Yeah.
person
Yeah,
that came
like
in?
ketamine.
Yeah,
Maybe
something
probably
like
both.
that, yeah.
Probably both. But he came in, saw nobody was there. Like the person who was supposed, like he thought was there, wasn't there. Like it was somebody else's stuff, and just left the door wide open.
I said, "Oh, I gotta get the
And
fuck
so,
out of here, bro."
so
Like,
all three of us grab weapons. So my friend grabs his gun, I grab a baseball bat, and my roommate at the time grabs like a bed frame, and we're going around the
Like
perimeter
this?
of the
Like he's holding
house.
it like this?
So it's like one of those long like black metal poles,
I have two.
Oh, okay. Got you.
but it's like the short piece of it. So it's only like 3 foot
Yeah.
long. So like
Yeah,
you got it
nice
like
length.
and we're all lined up
Very
in
average.
levels of like.
Yeah.
We're all lined up in like levels of how lethal each person would be. So he's leading with his gun, I'm with the baseball bat, and he's with his 3-foot bedpost. So like we're surrounding the house, going around the perimeter,
Checking your corners.
and then we decide to lock the door was locked.
Interesting.
And so this guy had a key, so like we were on guard the rest of the night.
Yeah,
That's
fair.
intimidating.
Oh, that sucks,
crazy.
dude.
I bought a gun the next day.
Right.
Nice.
Smart.
I bought a gun the next
Oh.
day of that incident happening, and I still have
Did you really?
It's still at Cabela's just chilling.
If we're gonna talk about guns, so we moved into this house in Columbus for a year. A month after we moved in there, it was like 2:30 in the morning.
Bro.
We're laying in bed, and somebody drives down the street shooting up cars. So my car got shot up. They like broke the back window and like the back.
There's still a bullet hole in your
Yeah.
bullet holes in my car currently.
Is your car that's here?
Yeah.
Yeah, the car out there has a bullet hole in the I have a photo.
Yeah,
Dude,
there's,
that could
like,
just be added to the list of the things that we got to talk about after the podcast. Showing him the bullet hole.
We need a literal list.
Yeah.
At this point, like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to find that.
There's a bullet hole through one of the seat heads. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like the back cushion for the head.
the headrest?
Yeah, that. It's like got stuffing.
Or
coming-
something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
Dude,
It's ketamine or something.
We got to get him a T-shirt with something like
Yeah,
that on the
something
back.
like that, yeah. Ketamine or something like that is going to be the shirt.
So many
Start selling them on
questions
the
would be
guy's
asked.
Patreon, bro.
Yes. This is now
yeah.
the guy's merch. I'm a
Yeah.
designer. I can make that shit.
True.
I got a heat press. So I can make shirts.
Oh, here it is.
That's the hole in my car right there.
Your captions on all these videos are better than the actual videos
Clouded up.
themselves.
Clouded up.
This is the bullet hole that's still in his car right now.
Where's the bullet? Did you ever find the bullet?
It might have went over.
We're gonna find it tonight.
If it didn't come out.
It went through.
Oh, it went through.
Well,
It went through.
one of it was like that one ricocheted off the car, and then two went like through the glass.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So were they shooting with like a little 22 or something?
It was like automatic.
Yeah, it sounded.
It might
It was
have
like
a big little drug addict gun, like the little finger guns.
fair.
That they be
It could be.
just grabbing. I don't even
It
know
was
how they
just.
get some shits.
I don't know. They shot like fucking 10 different cars.
Yeah, they were just
So.
fucking around. It wasn't even like targeted or anything. They were
Nobody
just
got
fucking
So
hurt.
at
shooting
what
up
point
cars.
were you guys like, maybe we should move back?
A year after.
Yeah.
A couple months ago.
Until they were forced.
Listen, I'm not scared.
I'm getting out of this bitch as soon as I
I'm
can.
not saying you had to be scared, but at
Fair.
what point are
Yeah,
you
it's
like, maybe we should stop sitting here for our stuff to get shot up
Right,
and
right,
stolen
right.
and ruined by Ford Range Rovers and
the risk was worth the reward in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you have more to say, I've been hogging the fucking mic this whole time. We still sat on our porch pretty regularly after that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah.
Some music.
Yeah.
And there was a side of me that was like, why the fuck are we on the porch? Did you guys not like remember what just happened?
Dude, I'm a firm believer that that was never gonna happen again.
Well, you see it as a front.
Yeah.
You're like, if they see us on the porch and there's people outside, they're gonna be too pussy to do
me and
something.
David have a story we gotta talk about.
Story.
Yeah.
well, here, do you just want this one?
No,
No,
bro, you're
that's
the guest,
okay,
bro.
you're
You
the
have to
guest.
have that.
This is just real quick because me and David were involved. So me and David are sitting on the porch
Oh yes.
smoking a fucking, and this is after the shooting and everything. Like, we're
This was
just-
the moving day.
This was like
No.
3 months ago, probably 2 months ago.
How long have you guys been back?
Only a month and a half.
So were you guys living here when I saw you in May?
No, the first
No.
couple of fights we went to, we
No
were living in
kidding.
Columbus. Yeah.
We,
No
we
kidding.
literally just came back, bro.
We started this podcast in Columbus.
Yeah. True.
But yeah, so
what were you smoking though? I need
we were
to know
smoking marijuana.
That's so funny that you
Or
asked
something
that.
like
'cause
that.
that's-
Ketamine or something like that.
PCP.
I mean, it's,
It's
something
very-
like ketamine, I probably. So, not cigarettes, to be clear. And this guy,
No,
walks
Like that would
by-
be the
No,
problem.
you gotta listen. You gotta listen. It's very pivotal.
This guy walks by. He's shirtless, tattoos.
He's walking angry.
Yeah, he's like just pissed off, and he's like, we have a fenced yard, so it's like I don't know. I felt like there was at least a little bit of a barrier between us, but either way, he stops at our fence right where we're sitting, and he's like, "You guys got a cigarette?" And David takes a big old puff of the joint. He's like, "No." Which I support because I'm like,
This isn't a
first of
cigarette.
all-
Yeah, this is not a
First of
cigarette.
all, we don't have cigarettes, and second of all, even it's like even if he's talking
Fuck
about
off.
what David is smoking, it's a no. And the guy's like, "What are you smoking
No,
right now?"
he said, "Yeah, you do."
He's like, "Yeah, you do. Like, what are you smoking right now?" And I was like, David like goes to respond, and I just looked at him. I was like, "He said we don't have anything." I was
Then
like,
he puts his hands on the fence.
"This man, he's pointing over the
starts
fence.
pointing over our
He's
fence.
like, you don't fucking disrespect me in my fucking neighborhood. Blah blah blah. You don't know who the fuck I am." I was just like, "Bro, no,
"There's no
You're
problem
not-
here. Chill."
I was like, "Why are you acting like this?"
And then essentially, he's walking, but he's like stampeding
Yes.
the rest of the way, screaming.
I remember saying, "Are you fucking serious, bro?"
Yes.
I said that, and he's just walking away like screaming at us. I was like, "All right, bro, you have a great day." He's like, "Fuck you." So we just, it's like we had to just face. We had people try to fight us. Like,
Columbus was fucking nuts,
Dude,
bro.
there's like another story. I have like a couple of like me and this girl I was like fucking around with at the time. We were just like sitting out on the porch smoking, and this chick and this guy are walking by, and she's like talking, just like not acknowledging anything that's going on. She's like, "Yeah," and then we just like we were like doing crack together, and then like, and I was like, and then she was like. And kept walking, and I was like, "Oh shit, okay, well."
Because you said.
Yeah, because I was like, she acknowledged the fact that I just heard her say she was smoking crack with somebody.
She felt judged.
How dare you?
Yeah, bro. And then me and her were sitting on the porch again, and some guy is riding down the street on a bike with just like shit all over the bike, like just random shit. And then he's like, "Anybody want to buy an air mattress? Like, anybody want to buy an air mattress, $20?" And I was like, "No, bro, I don't want to buy an air mattress from you, bro. Like, random guy on bike in the hilltop. No, I'm not trying to buy an air mattress from you."
probably deflates.
Probably.
Yeah, you're definitely gonna wake up on a tarp.
It is so wild to me that Richmond is the city that was like normal for us to move back to.
Right.
Like even living in Newcastle for a year, like Richmond is the city, like that's the goal to get back to. Like even like the Columbus stories, like even in Indianapolis, where like that's where you live, isn't it?
Yep.
Like, did you guys see the video not too long ago of the guy that like pulled his gun out in the middle of traffic, walked up to a truck, and was screaming at him and pointed at him, and the guy thought he put his gun at him and shot him?
No, I did
Damn.
not.
Oh,
I
he thought
don't-
he point. Oh
Yeah,
my
yeah.
God.
No, I did not.
Dude.
I don't know.
Dude,
about
survival of the
Where
fittest.
he went up to like point at him like, "Dude, don't point a
So-
gun at me."
So
And
he
then-
had his gun in his right hand, and he was pointing with his left, or he was waving with his left. He switched hands, brought his hand up, and was pointing at him. And the second he did that, the guy shot him like 3 times.
Where was this?
That's
This was in Indy.
crazy.
In Indy.
Like,
I mean, it's
like a
like-
month ago,
Bro, like,
That's fucked.
maybe 2.
don't be flashing guns. It's like, why? I don't understand why people feel the need to get aggressive and then pull that. It's like, bro, if you guys are going to be like beefing,
Yeah.
put your hands up.
Yeah.
Like, why does somebody have to die right here?
That hyena
No.
and that dude, they were like trying to jump him. Do you remember that?
Oh, so I won't. Again, I'm not gonna say his name because he's got like a lot more going for him than this night. But we walked out and it was somebody I knew at a bar in Newcastle. We walked out. It was me, Hannah, and so me, my girlfriend, and my friend Jackie. We walked out of the bar, and this guy had parked his truck because 4 guys said he was gonna jump him. And at that point, I'm like, dude, just drive away.
Yeah, literally.
But he got out, pulled a gun on him, and was like, "You guys aren't gonna jump me." And I was like, and they just kept going back and forth. And I know the guy, and I'm like, I want to help him and like get him out of here, but at the same time, I ain't getting shot.
Yeah,
It'd be
bro.
different if
So
there
like
was no gun
we
involved.
were all parked in the back of the parking lot. So I went back and got the gun out of the car just in case like stuff popped off.
Yeah.
But like this was right next to us. Like, what would you say? Like a mile and a half from the house? Like just down the street. Like, yeah, we walked out of the bar while it was happening, right next, like, not even too far from where we live.
Yeah.
Wild.
Yeah, I think it's like there's a lot of, especially like really young people who are like just thinking that it's cool to have a gun and to shoot people and like to catch bodies and shit like that. You know, like it's like they think that it's making them stronger, but I think that it's making them weaker.
Yeah, because that's what I was thinking. Was it's very about why even pull out the gun? Why does someone have to die? Because that's how I am with even fighting in general in public. Like that's my last resort is even putting my hands on someone and fighting.
Right.
Let alone bringing a fucking gun to a situation. I forget where I was going with that, but
Well, I can't tell you how many times I've heard people like, you know, in that are involved in sports combat, like just come down to the gym. But even that is so unsafe because like the video of the boxer that got punched in the back of the head, that was in a regulation fight. Like they weren't beefing. Like that was an accident. Who's to say these guys aren't going to let up?
Right.
Who's to say somebody's not going to pull a knife? And if you're at their gym, bro, you're done.
that's the point of a waiver, though.
Okay, well, if somebody pulls a knife at your gym,
Oh,
the waiver's not going to protect you getting stabbed.
I see what you're saying.
NDA, dude.
That shit pisses me off though, cause like, there's dudes that'll talk shit to me, like, just before this fight weekend. Like, it always happens around the time where my fights come up, where people start talking shit, and then after the fight, like, I'm texting them like, hey, now that my fight's handled, you can come to the gym, and then it's just like no answer, of course, but I'll even be telling people like, hey, come to my gym. I'll send them screenshots of it on Google, like. You can see the reviews to the star ratio, like all of it's legit, but they still are like, dude, I'm not stupid. Like not even having a clue about the martial arts community and shit like that. Like no fucking gym is gonna jump anyone. They're gonna be like, dude, you got your ass.
No
kicked
gym
by
worth
a-"
their name.
Very fucking true. Very fucking true. Yeah, like yeah, I can definitely think of some gyms that would probably do that.
I'm just like a firm believer in like energy. And I think when you carry a gun around with the intention of using it, you invite firearms into your area. It's like, obviously there's a level of like wanting to be safe, but it's like almost also a level of paranoia that is like circulating that kind of energy.
It's like the guy wanting to be safe that's getting pointed at in his truck.
Right.
It's like he just wanted to be safe, so he had his gun with him, and he thought he was getting threatened with a gun. But
And
it's
he
like,
was. The guy did pull a gun.
Right. It's like, and it's like that guy who pulled the gun is inviting somebody to have a gun and shoot him. Like, it's like he probably wouldn't have got shot had he never pulled out his gun. But the fact that he's willing to invite that into the fight, now it's no holds bar. And this guy in the truck is like, I'm not going to get shot, so you're going to get shot.
this guy has a gun. It's either me or him now.
Yeah.
And it's another thing to get, you know, I don't know about you three, but there's some people in this room that could definitely attest to the fact that I have road rage. But I've never got out of a car in the middle of an intersection. I've never pulled a gun out of my car in the middle of an intersection. Now, don't get me wrong. Like, if I drive for Domino's, like I said I have, like I don't now, but I've carried.
Fair.
You have to. Especially in, like, Newcastle, it's sketchy. Like, in some parts of Newcastle, it is sketchy. Like, Richmond Avenue is 90% of the streets in
Fair.
Newcastle.
I guess in like I never took anything with me when I'm delivering, and I'm just like, that's just not gonna happen. And it's like, if it does happen and somebody like comes up on me and is like, bro, I'm like, take it. My life is not worth Domino's money. I don't give a fuck. And it's like I think the likelihood of them just shooting me to just take it is way less likely. They got to be like some crazy motherfucker. But it's like most of the time it's to threaten you with. It's not even about shooting you. It's just to pull it and show you that they have it and be like, give me all your shit or I will shoot you.
You know, another thing was like when we were told while we were at Domino's, like if anything happens, press that 911 button. I accidentally pressed it one day when I was working with Andy. Didn't notice it till half hour later. Nothing happened.
Damn.
Wow. How'd you find out?
I looked up and there was a 911 flashing on the screen with a timer next to it.
It's like supposed to tell us to call 911, but it malfunctioned all the time. Even sometimes people hadn't pressed it, but it was still showing they had.
Dude, I remember that.
So then it's like, okay, do we call 911 or not? And then it's like, okay, if somebody really is in trouble, and I'm sitting here thinking, oh, it's probably just a malfunction.
Like, I'm not saying that to like down Andy or anything. Like I said, he wasn't fun to work with, but he was damn good at what he did.
Yeah, that's more of just the domino system
Right.
in general is not functional.
I mean, like the night of our Halloween party when the dude broke in, I don't remember exactly when 911 was called, but I'm pretty sure it was before I know it was before the dude was hit with a bowl. and a cabin door.
Yeah, it was
And the
before
cops
he
were
made
called.
his way into the house because you called it as soon as he broke your door. It was like, okay, so this is like.
I think just because of the drugs and alcohol, we were like, do we call 911 after he walked out? And then I think they had to have been called as soon as he came into the kitchen because he was still kind of like PCP'd up and not coherent. So people were like, okay, call him now because he's in the house. But even
Bath
then,
salts.
that's a later time that we called, and they still did not show up until like
he was already.
he was out in the backyard, fucking
That's
laying
also the
out.
big problem with like big cities too.
That's a very
Like you're not going to have that problem in Richmond so much,
very fucking true.
like or Newcastle. I've never really had to call the cops in Newcastle. I did have to call the fire department the other day. That was interesting, but like Indianapolis is like the slowest responding police response. It's not even their fault. They're just so stretched thin.
Yeah, and it's like a little ass city with so much fucking going on all the time. Like there's so much little shit I gotta deal with. Like even my little experience in jail, the amount of people that were coming into Marion County to get processed through the 10 hours I was there was like, what the fuck, bro?
And there's so much going on in Indianapolis all the time.
Yeah.
Like I went there for a church conference not too long ago, and there was a baseball game going on, so it took me 45 minutes to park for a church
And it
conference.
affects the whole city.
Right.
Yes, one event affects the whole fucking city.
And then there's nights where you get Pacers games, Colts games, and an Indians
Oh
game
my
all in the
God,
same
bro,
night.
yeah.
I think it's like 1 week, but they all line up perfectly. But
Everyone's
like,
coming in at the same time, and
Yeah.
Hotels are packed.
Yeah, now school's coming in, so I'm glad I don't live
No,
down
but
there.
Muncie's getting there. If there's a Ball State football or basketball game, it affects the whole.
That makes
all
sense.
Muncie.
That makes
I would
sense.
say moving to Columbus, like I definitely had to personally face a lot of like paranoia and fear surrounding like the possibility of being hurt or somebody.
You appreciate
I had
safety.
people try to fight me. I had people put their hands on me, and it like never really went anywhere crazy.
I
but
wish I was around. They would have.
there was a lot of potential for that, and it was like I told myself, and I still kind of stand by this. I had a lot of the mentality of like I'm just not going to be afraid of it. I'm not going to let myself be like okay, I could die. It's like I would rather be willing to explore the world and face the potential of dying and not like sit stagnant in my hometown forever. And it's like I just went with the mentality of like, okay, somebody could shoot me, and they better shoot me in the head, because if they shoot me somewhere and I'm still alive for a minute, like I'm gouging their fucking eyes out before I die. Like I'm gonna get them back a
Yeah.
little bit.
You're gonna get your licks in.
So it's like, yeah, you better fucking shoot me in the fucking head, and if you do, then I'm just gone. So
Yeah, a lot of situations like that I feel like are just relying on your instincts. Like
Yeah.
because like that's what's helped me a lot with like stressing going into fights is don't even worry about what the fuck. Like don't worry.
yeah,
Just wait till you're in that moment and then trust that your instincts will take care of shit.
try as hard as you can,
Yep.
put everything you got into it, and
You'll fucking live.
It's like when you worry, that's another thing that's crowding your mind in the moment of like
True.
trying to defend yourself, and it's like,
Fuck, I'm gonna die. Fuck, and you're accepting.
yeah, and not only that, but it's like the thought of, oh fuck, I'm gonna die. It's like in the moment where this guy's like breaking into the house, I'm not like
You're behind.
I'm gonna die. I'm like, if he comes in here, I'm gonna kill him.
yeah.
It's like I'm not worried about dying because I'm worried about
Very true.
making sure that he's not gonna kill anybody in here.
Precisely.
It's like the more paranoid you are when you get in situations like that, you can overthink, and it's like that's why you're comfortable in there because you know what you're doing.
Did that
and
guy have a weapon?
No, but we thought he had a gun.
PCP.
He had like ketamine or
True.
something.
Hey, they say you get that PCP strength. Bro.
Yeah,
He's got
it was like, but
Glad I didn't test it.
one of the girls at the party was literally in the living room, and while he was like in the house, and I was like, "Get over here!" And she was like screaming, and
When he
he's
broke
like,
through the front door and he was kind of in a halfway.
"Yeah!" And one of the guys at the party had a gun, and
He was flashing it even when he was on the porch rocking. Like nothing big had happened yet.
and pointing it
was
at the
flashing.
door while Keaton's standing at the door. Yeah, well, we're skating over that, but
Put my life in danger, but it's
yeah, it's whatever. This girl was like,
Can't put a mad dog down.
"That's right, that's right." She was like,
I'm stealing that, bro.
she was like, "He's got a gun," and I was like, "Oh fuck, okay, this guy has a gun. Like, he's gonna have to go." Like, It's either.
Because his hand was awkwardly in his hoodie pocket the whole time.
Yeah, and it's like it's either him or us. So I'm like, if he comes through here and I have to kill him, like that's just.
You had the pressure of maybe this guy has a gun, and you didn't go to this other guy and say, "Give me the gun." You
Right.
picked up a cabinet.
Right. Well, that guy had already pussied out and ran from the party
Right.
by that point because he was
Fair.
like, dude, if the cops are called, like, they're
You're
gonna
not
get me
ru-
because I
you-
have a gun, and it's like
he has a gun and he's running away.
Right.
You didn't even have a gun. You thought maybe you were going against a guy who had a gun, and you're like, I'm not worried about if I get shot. I'm worried about can I do everything in my power to stop this guy from shooting everybody else.
Yeah.
Well, and at the same time, you really can't fault that guy. Like I just said, like you're sitting here watching a horror movie. Oh well, I wouldn't have ran or I wouldn't have tripped.
Fair.
It's a flight or fight response.
These
Like
two
you
right
can't
here,
control that.
These two right here can look at anybody and say, they ran, but I wouldn't have because they stayed and they fucking.
And they earned the right to do that.
Yeah.
A lot of people never get the right to say
Yeah.
that. You know,
Well,
I did that.
and
And
I would
God
also
forbid
hope,
they don't have to.
right, and that's what I was about to say. It's like
Right.
I hope that nobody gets put in that position because that's not a position that I'm just like looking for.
Right.
Like I'm not like, oh god, dude, I hope I get another chance to kill somebody that breaks into a house I'm at. It's like I hope I never have to do that again.
I'll show them.
But it's like, dude, and this is why I have such a mentality on guns. It's like I already knew what this kid was doing at the party with the gun. First of all, why are you bringing a gun to a party where people are drinking alcohol and doing all this shit? That's just asking for stupid shit to happen. And then,
Well, he brings it everywhere, to be honest.
of course he does.
Yeah, of course.
I'm not shocked. And then he's just waving it around. It's like he's never going to shoot anyone. He's just putting everybody in danger for no reason. He's trying to look big and tough.
Dude, I wouldn't even be surprised if there was no ammo in that gun.
It's like I don't even know. But it's like the fact that he would even do that is just
It's a power play.
Yes.
There's either no ammo in that gun or there's the safety's not on. There's no in between.
Right.
yeah, it's like he's
Yeah.
just being
Very
stupid or he was never going to do anything with it to begin with. And it's like that's why I just don't believe that people are looking to shoot people even if they have guns. They're just looking to wave it around and scare you with it. And then
He wanted to impress the girls at the
right, and then it's like, okay, when you do that, you're now inviting somebody who would actually shoot the gun to shoot you. Like,
Fact.
it's like it's just dumb. I just don't agree with it.
I think you should be smart.
It's like I think that more people should just be
should carry swords.
yes,
Honestly, I respect a sword.
dude. If like
Why
somebody
carry a sword when you could carry a door?
true.
True.
All I'm saying is I got plenty of ammunition in here and nobody's safe.
So like if you have a sword, you're like a paladin, right? Like or like a
I mean you could be, but it's like
what would
or a
somebody
samurai.
like what would somebody be if they carry a cabinet door?
Cabinetier.
I'm trying to think of
A multi
who would
weapon
who would
specialist.
be who would be classing in like ranged like
Bro,
carpenter?
You can
Yeah,
throw it
carpenter.
and you can use it in your hand. It's like
yeah,
you
I'm like
can
a
both.
I'd be like a barbarian because I'm willing to throw it, but I'm also willing to
Oh.
just swing it at you and get really
Right.
mad.
Dude, so like I went to a professional wrestling show. Like I said, I just went on Saturday night, but I went for the first time like a year and a half ago.
Okay.
And in the John Moxley or Dean Ambrose, if you guys have ever heard
Oh
of him.
shit. Okay.
So he was there,
wow.
and they broke a door instead of a table. They used doors because it's cheaper. It's pretty cool, actually.
Dean Ambrose is at this. Wait. Oh, he wasn't wrestling.
Yeah,
Oh, he was wrestling.
yeah. So
What the
I'm gonna
fuck?
find the video real quick.
This dude used to be like in the WWE, like a part of the Shield, right? I'm thinking of the right person.
Yeah.
Bro, that's
Don't bring up the
wild.
Dude,
WWE, bro.
Matt Riddle was there last night or Saturday night.
Matt Riddle. That sounds familiar. Is he a newer dude?
Not the WWE.
I haven't caught- I haven't-
He
watched it
tag teamed
years.
with Randy Orton.
What the fuck?
Brendan,
Okay.
you know who I'm talking
Brendan,
about?
how do you feel about the WWE?
It's awesome. I love it.
Yeah, you like it?
I'm going to the Royal Rumble in January.
Is there any quotes you
Hands down.
specifically like? Any specific quotes from the WWE that you like a lot?
I don't think necessarily, no. Not like any quote that like automatically comes to mind.
Jim Ross saying, "Holy hell!"
One specific quote I'm
Joey Styles, oh yeah. Joey Styles, oh my God, is definitely one of the better ones. Here we go.
I was a big Edge fan, dude.
So when John
You like Edge?
when John Moxley showed up,
You like the edge, huh?
You like the Edge, bro?
Edge is still wrestling.
Is it really?
Is he?
Yeah, under Adam Copeland.
He's returned a couple times, yeah. I remember I cried when he first retired, the first retirement he ever did.
Damn.
I was in my parents' bed fucking tearing up. No,
No,
way.
not Edge.
Not Edge, bro.
Dude,
Now I have to
and,
get off.
I need the spirit.
And it was like Edge and one other guy going up against the Hardy brothers.
Ooh, was it?
Tom and
It might have been
Christian.
Christian, yes,
Yeah.
Edge and Christian.
Oh my god.
Bro, Christian's
That's when I was
He's
like,
wrestling right now too.
Yeah.
Christian's back.
Yeah,
Bro.
dude. Edge and
I'm about
Christian
to get
just had a
back
match
in.
together for the TNT title on AEW.
Bro, I'm about to get back into WWE.
Dude, wasn't
or
there like
wrestling?
a
Fuck it.
triple tag team match with them and then 2 other people?
Edge and-
Multiple times. So it was the Dudley Boys,
The Dudley
the
Boys,
Hardys,
dude.
and Edge and
Oh my
Christian.
Yeah, bro.
God.
Oh my god, this is bringing me back to when I was 12.
Crazy.
So here's a video of when John Moxley and Sami Callihan actually came out. John Moxley actually threw his water bottle, hit me dead square in my chest.
You said, "Whoa, shit! That looks like it's coming after me."
There's the water bottle. And then, so I'm trying to find this video of the door real quick.
Yo, I bet they're getting paid bank at these local shows,
Yeah,
bro.
shaped it and dent.
Local shows are putting everything into them. Like, please come.
That's when he stapled a $100 bill to the dude's forehead.
Stapled?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the weird thing about wrestling. Like, it's just not that fake, body damage
Oh,
wise.
here we go.
You're still getting hurt.
Yeah.
So like that's a door he just threw at somebody.
They just go to Lowe's.
Yeah, probably. The finish to the match. Here we
Take
go.
a stop at Lowe's for this skit.
Oh my
Like, listen to
God.
this.
Yeah, bro, that sounds.
I was
painful.
not expecting that
That sounds
shit.
Hey, dumbass. Cheer to
Is that what he
face.
said?
Yeah.
So the guy that screamed, "Hey, dumbass," is the promoter of the show.
Son of y'all, I'm fucking
Former
getting in on
TNA
this.
World Champ Sami Callihan. It was so cool. Like, dude, Rich Swann, I've met him there.
Rich Swann.
Yeah. Do you know? I bet you know
I think
Matt
it's
Riddle
more
there.
about getting hurt.
Matt,
than
I
anything.
have to. I
Right?
have to.
It's supposed to look like you got really hurt.
Yeah.
What the fuck was his name? Was his name Matt Riddle?
Yeah.
Dude, okay.
This is the motherfucking king of bros. I fucking come all the way to Dayton, fucking Ohio, and you don't make the show. It's cool, dude. Dude, bro, I get it. I'll let that shit slide this time. Cause I know next time I'm coming up to Ohio, you better fucking be here, bro. All right, Mr. Bass. Take care. Stay stallion later, bro.
So this guy is so blowed. Like,
Yeah,
he's
I was
such a
gonna
cool
say,
dude.
right?
But like, he got the guy's name wrong. Like,
Goofy movie.
That's what I hate
Yeah.
about pro. That's what I hate about pro wrestling is like they put in like the same amount of physical work probably as probably not MMA fighters. I don't know, but they don't have to. They don't have to keep up on their diets like that. They could probably smoke weed and then go and fight. Like
dude,
it's
Yeah,
There's-
that's weird to think about.
Yeah.
there's
It's
one
not
guy,
fair, bro.
Crash Jackson. He's bigger than I am. He makes me look small. This was back when I was almost 400 pounds.
damn. That is a thick dude.
Damn, bro.
Like, he is absolutely massive. But like, he he jumps over the top rope.
One of
Like, he
those,
does
okay.
dives. Like, it's super cool. Like, he's so cool.
Damn.
So like, if you haven't made it to one of those shows, you guys definitely should.
Bet. I used to go to a lot of them around Richmond. When I was a kid, my grandma would take me, and like one of the dudes, actually was about to come to my fight, which would have been a weird full circle moment. But yeah, I've been to a few of them, and my grandma's invited me a couple times to go to wrestling, but we've been like within the past 6 months, but we've been busy.
We'll
on
get you
those
up there.
weekends. Bet. Fuck yeah.
October 12th, I think.
Okay, October. Ooh, I think I might be in Terre Haute. Wait, no, because the 11th is when you're DJing. So, okay. Do you know if Levi's still kickboxing that dude?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you for sure.
Fair. I want, unless you guys have any further comments, I was getting ready to start wrapping it up. I wanted Brendan to plug himself.
Bet.
So, like any upcoming events, your Facebook tag, anything for people to know more about you and what you're up to, and what's going on with you.
Yeah. So September 7th, Versailles, Indiana, I'll be working with doing something with Courage Fight Series with Tiger Banks. September 14th, Iron Kickboxing in Muncie. That one's going to be a fun show. Not sure what I'm doing for either show yet. Both of them are going to be a lot of fun. Fierce Fight Series back November 9th. The 1201 Church Street in Newcastle, Indiana. Trey Cole benefit show. We're going to have at least 1 to 2 ballot fights, potentially more. So it's going to be a really cool night. Make sure you guys come out and watch. Support the young local talent. It's not every day. Like sitting here talking with Keaton, it's pretty cool, but it's not every day like you get to see these guys on a personal level. So they put a lot of work in. I can't tell you how many hours Keaton has put in the gym this week alone. Like, just come out and support them. Show them that their hard work is, valid. Yeah, exactly.
Thank you, bro.
Of course.
I really appreciate that. When is that commentating date? Because I know it's after his.
I believe it's October 11th.
October 11th. We are trying to commentate / do a podcast episode. The Conflict Cast, yes. With the winners of the fights. During the fights, we'll probably have some things to say. Mad Dog will definitely be in there. He'll be pissing people off like always.
Of course.
But other than that, we'll be
That'll
here.
be in Richmond, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
Is it in Richmond?
He's not controversial, is he?
What?
Mad Dog?
No, Mad Dog, no.
Dude, I don't know what you were saying to Levi, but you got so under his skin. I've never seen him react like that. Ever. Like,
I've never had anyone react that way to me. Like, I was like, damn, I'm gonna keep doing this.
and like,
Yeah.
like,
Oh, this is
and
right.
like I said, I love Levi. He's a great guy. But for him to be like, all right, I'm done talking. It's your turn to speak. But anyways, like,
yeah. Dude, he was.
That was like my favorite part of the whole interview.
dude, I was cracking up.
I was like, okay.
I'm not gonna lie. I was holding my composure from them two. It was you three in the freaking comments that broke me. Like, if I'm being honest.
Oh yeah, that's fucking funny.
I was
bro.
comments letting it go, bro. I was just like projection to the max, bro.
Dude, he couldn't stop moving. I saw this dude's whole house. Like, he could not stop. He couldn't hold still. It was fucking nuts, bro. That shit was hilarious.
That shit was fucking funny. Yeah, dude. That was. What the fuck were we doing that day? That wasn't the day we quit, was it?
No, I think we called off. One of us called off or something.
Yeah.
First episode.
What?
No.
Of the Conscious Cast?
Yeah.
There's no
You
way.
did the interview?
There's no way.
That was the same day.
There's no way. Maybe a week before. There's no way.
Yeah, we
Bro,
watched it on the TV
promise.
in Columbus.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, you were at work.
Yeah, I didn't watch it firsthand. I watched it recorded.
Yeah, because we hadn't changed our schedule yet to Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday being off, and
I
that
worked and then you guys weren't working.
I called off that day.
Oh,
or
so
you
one of us
called
called
off. One of us called off because we were like, fuck that, I'm not going in on
Not
a day like
today.
this. And then it was just like, dude, you called off because you were like, I don't know, and then you called off, and the fact that you called off was why we got to watch it live.
Stop calling off. Just go to work.
Dude, fuck that place.
Bro, we have talked so much shit. If
Yeah.
you watch the old episodes, we talk a lot of shit about the places we've worked.
But
A lot.
yeah, bro, that shit was just fucking hysterical.
We went to another place after the interview, so.
Okay.
But it wasn't the Conscious Cast?
No, because
I didn't think so.
Yeah, we hadn't started that yet. But yeah, bro, that shit was.
Because we did not drive to Columbus after that interview.
That shit
That's what I was thinking. I was like, bro, you did that drive after that?
We
Because I
did
don't
s-
remember that.
There was something that happened on the same day that we went that I did that we did the first episode though. I can't remember what was happening.
You don't remember? You can't say
Fair.
it on air.
I can't remember.
It was supposed to be in the morning.
Well, he won't say it because he can't
I
remember.
might not be able to say it on air though, so there might be a reason I'm forgetting.
It's probably good that you're forgetting it then. But other than that, we're going to be hitting your radar every Tuesday. We're going to try to hit 8 o'clock every Tuesday. We're going to be live on Twitch. We will be posting it because after a week, it'll go off of Twitch. So we're going to post it on a Patreon if you want to see the episode a week early. The guys, what's the number? Do you remember?
999.
I don't-
911.
Yeah, the guy's 911. If you don't remember, then 938, whatever. We'll post it.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
But we post it on Patreon a week after, whenever it goes off of Twitch, and then the week after that, we post it on YouTube, and we're gonna have all the faces and the thumbnail ready for you. So if there's nothing else for you guys, we can drop our names and get
Yeah.
out of here. All right, I'm Daze. Thanks for tuning in.
Seth A.M.
Keaton Mad Dog motherfucking Miller.
I am the Vanilla Boy, spelled with an E, not an I.
Brendan Evans.
Let's go.
And this has been the guys.
Yeah, thank you for coming on, bro.
Dude,
Yeah,
it was
this
a
was
blast.
great.
Yes,
man.
I appreciate
I had
you.
a ton of fun.
Yes,
Hell
bro.
yeah.
That was Fight Club as hell.
Yeah, that was
That was
Fight
very
Club,
Fight
bro.
Club.
That was Fight Club.
Peace, guys.